Well,
David
Flintoff, the former Hawthorn boy. So that's a great effort by David Flintoff. Don, discarded by Hawthorn. Here he is playing in a preliminary final.
Well, the interesting thing too is the way they've named the interchange, that they're only two small fellows interchange, whereas Carlton, as we know, are a big side. So it will be a contrast in styles and also physical shape.
I'll say there will be, and I really think whoever gains that initial advantage is in for a big day, because a fairly strong breeze blowing down to the main scoreboard end. A little bit fluky the wind, but as you get in the reserves are kicking long to that end, and I think, as I say, whoever kicks with that breeze in the first quarter, and then again, if you muck it up, you're in trouble.
What about the strengths of both sides, Peter? We'll go through Carlton first.
Well, there's been a whisper that Kernahan's been playing with a groin injury, as a matter of fact, but their strength, I think, is their overall evenness. I think their small men will really trouble Melbourne today. Those medium-sized players, Meldrum, Bradley, and little Fraser Murphy, and Gleeson's back in the side, and Glascott, of course, is back in. They will trouble Melbourne. Melbourne, I think, their ruck strength, the two big men. And,
well, it'll be an interesting battle there, won't it? Because Carlton's strength is Madden, and Melbourne depend a lot on Steins and O'Dwyer.
Well, I think we're in for a fantastic game of football today. I'm tipping Carlton to just get in.
Well, I'll go for Melbourne, so back to you boys in the commentary box.
OK, thanks, Don Scott and Peter McKenna. Crowd still building up here, and as I said, we probably will get around about 70 to 75,000. It is a sellout, so any vacant seats you can see, people have elected not to come because of the weather. Gentlemen, just in closing this part of it, who are we going for? Ian, should I ask you that question?
Well, I'm going to be try very, very hard to be unbiased and say that Carlton will win a very tight contest by about 16 points, I would think.
Well, actually, Ian, we've had some differences throughout the year, and we tend to go against each other, but I do think also just the experience of Carlton by 23 points.
Well, I must admit I'd have to agree with you, Malcolm, although I suppose the sentiments with most of the crowd here, if you don't support a particular club, will indeed be with Melbourne. Sean Wight didn't trade on Tuesday night, but that was not because of injury. He was just given the night off by coach John Northey to see if he could run out a few little minor aches and pains, but he'll be fully fit this afternoon, there's no doubt about that. Carlton, of course, keen to atone for last week's defeat. Milhana played a very good game last week. So, always in readiness for what's going to be a titanic struggle. And there's the man we saw then who led the Brownlow medal last year for around about 15 rounds. So, I think it's going to be a great match. Steve, I'm going for Carlton to win, but I don't think it will be too much in it, possibly a couple of goals. Melbourne will give it everything they've got.
Thanks very much, Pete. And for the sake of the argument, I'll go for Melbourne, and well, I'm sure we're in for a great match with a great crowd building down there. Back with more in just a moment. Welcome back. Time to pause and rewind again as we take another look at the history of the VFL.
1965 could be singled out as the turning point in modern football. It was this year that Carlton and Richmond began revivals, which in a few years saw them dominating the competition. Tiger legend Jack Dyer even took time out to show a couple of youngsters by the names of Kevin Bartlett and Michael Irwin how to kick a football. Melbourne's 10-year reign as a league power disintegrated and three clubs moved to new grounds. Richmond to the MCG, North Melbourne to Coburg and St Kilda to Moorabbin. In the Saints' first home match against Collingwood, a crowd of more than 51,000 witnessed the home team's one-goal win. A huge attendance was also at Glenferrie Oval to watch Ron Barassi's debut as captain-coach of Carlton. The Saints continued their good form, and on the Queen's birthday round, they beat Melbourne by 10 goals, the first such hiding the Demons had suffered since Norm Smith started coaching the team in 1952. Not long after, following a loss to Richmond, the Melbourne committee stunned the football world by sacking Smith and replacing him with Checker Hughes. However, only 5 days later, Smith was reinstated, but the damage had been done and Melbourne finished 7th, the first time the club had missed the finals since 1954. By the end of the home and away matches, St Kilda had become the new glamour team and for the first time in its history occupied top spot on the ladder. In the second semi-final, the Saints held on to beat Collingwood by a point and St Kilda marched into its first grand final since 1913. The club also rejoiced when centreman Ian Stewart won the first of his 3 Brownlow medals. The 1965 preliminary final between Collingwood and Essendon was notable for 2 reasons. It marked the debut of Magpie ruckman Len Thompson and also saw the Bombers' John Somerville KO'd 10 minutes into the first quarter, an incident which spurred Essendon on to win by 55 points. In the grand final, Essendon jumped to an early lead against St Kilda, and a great third quarter in which the Bombers kicked 5 goals to 1 set up Essendon's 12th premiership, and the team became only the third to take the flag from 4th position since the paid system of finals was introduced in 1931. 12 months later, the Saints received another setback in their quest for a premiership when in the last home and away match, ruckman Carl Dittrich was reported and was subsequently suspended for 6 weeks. But Ian Stewart buoyed confidence at the club by winning another Brownlow, and the Saints moved into their second successive grand final, this time against Collingwood. In one of the most celebrated grand finals in history, scores were locked together for most of the afternoon, and at three-quarter time, the Saints led by just 4 points. The final quarter was nothing short of amazing. Collingwood's Gabelich missed an easy shot early in the term. Then St Kilda's Moran and Neal added 3 goals, and the Saints grabbed a 13-point lead. Collingwood attacked relentlessly, and after Pitt Gold and Tuddenham kicked a behind, scores were level with 2 minutes remaining. The crowd was at fever pitch, and when young St Barry Breen wobbled through a point, St Kilda was headed for its first premiership. In 1967, Richmond was the dominant team, and the Tigers scored the highest number of points since Essendon's total in 1950. Although Richmond trounced Carlton by 40 points in the second semi-final, it lost ruckman Neville Crowe for 4 weeks after he allegedly struck the Blues' John Nichols. Geelong was in great form and easily moved into the grand final by beating Carlton in the preliminary final, despite trailing by 37 points at half-time. After the interval, the Cats kicked 11 goals to 1 to set up a clash with the Tigers. This grand final, like the corresponding match the year before, was a beauty. During the final term, scores were level 4 times before 2 quick goals to Ronaldson and Bartlett broke the deadlock. And despite some desperate Geelong attacks, the flag was Richmond's, the club's first since 1943.
And a lot of interesting history surrounding the Brownlow medal, which will be decided on Monday night. It was started in 1924 and they changed the voting in 1980 so that they could have dual medal winners, and that's had an effect since then. Of course, it's happened in 1981, 86 and 87. What will happen on Monday night? Well, we'll wait and see. In South Australia this weekend, the 1988 Premiership team will be in action, but at this stage, just who that is still anybody's guess. The 2 semi-finals will be played at Football Park. Minor Premiers Port Adelaide will tackle Norwood this afternoon, while tomorrow Central District and Glenelg do battle in the cutthroat first semi. All 4 teams have had a tough week, both on the track and facing the endless stream of media requests.
League footballers are always under pressure at this time of year during the finals. Not only are they expected to produce the goods on the field, but they also have to come up with the right answers for the ever-prying media. Different players get away from it all in varied ways. For fun and relaxation, Port Adelaide rover Tim Ginniver plays part-time with an Adelaide band. Ginniver says once the siren sounds, it's back to business.
If we win this one, sure, we're in the grand final, but that's not where it ends. We all know that it's a big day on the grand final day, and anything can happen. You know, North Adelaide the last 3 years, 2 years they got there and then lost it, and last year they did the right thing. So it's it's not easy, and it's on the day.
The predicted bad weather certainly isn't going to help Central District's cause. Their form so far this year in the wet has been very disappointing, and it will add just another problem that they can well do without. The Bulldogs have never beaten Glenelg in a finals match, although they have won their last 3 encounters at Football Park. But the Tigers are much more accustomed to the pressure of a major round, which has proven a distinct advantage in the past.
Yeah, it's a question that we're going to have to face each week, because we haven't been playing in the finals and every other team in the finals has been. So, we have to come up against that each week. Last week we failed, but, we've had a pretty good track record with Glenelg over the last 3 or 4 years, and we're very confident that that'll continue.
And this is the pot of gold at the end of the finals, the Thomas Seymour Hill Trophy, awarded to only the best team of the year. Already 6 sides have fallen by the wayside. After the weekend, only 3 will remain in the race. John Casey for Sports World.
So 2 vital games in Adelaide this weekend at Football Park. Port and Norwood this afternoon, and we'll bring you scores on that one.
Good luck, boys. Good day. Call them right.
Thanks, Steve. Good afternoon to you and good afternoon, everyone, from VFL Park. A rather cloudy day in Melbourne for the clash between Melbourne and Carlton. Carlton, of course, last week against Hawthorn in the second semi-final weren't disgraced. Melbourne, of course, they beat Collingwood by 13 points, and the Demons making their entrance onto VFL Park right now. We ask the questions. Will Carlton get the chance to win back-to-back premierships? Will Melbourne go one better than last year and make the grand final? These questions will be answered certainly by 10 minutes past 5 Eastern time this afternoon. Crowd-wise today, upwards of 70,000 we do expect. It is a sellout at VFL Park, and any vacant seats you can see, people have simply opted to stay home because the weather is a little bit inclement. And that brings us now to the Nissan ground report for preliminary final day 1988 between Carlton and Melbourne. Let's take a look at it now, and we can see the wind, which has sprung up, I suppose, in the last hour and a half or so. We had a rather foggy morning in Melbourne, blowing to the main scoreboard end, that's left of screen. Currently it's still cloudy, no light rain, which we did have before. It's 15 degrees and the ground surface is firm. At this stage of our telecast, we say a very good afternoon to former Carlton star Ian Robertson and Malcolm Blight, former Magarey and Brownlow medalist. Gentlemen, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Peter.
Okay, let's take a look at the sides.
Yes, well, Carlton, I think, have suffered with the exit of Wayne Johnston, unfortunately, with the broken ribs. But they've gained a little with Glascott coming back into the side and Gleeson, of course. They still look pretty good with their tall players, Kernahan, Dorotich and Satori up in front. They will be the main danger. I think both defences, Carlton and Melbourne, will certainly make it difficult for the forwards.
Just looking at the Melbourne side, Ian, two changes. Flintoff and Fabi just swap on the interchange bench. They really won't line up like that. White's been in terrific form at full forward, and I could see him being a danger player up there. Newport probably to tag Bradley. Great game.
Yes, it certainly will be a great game. Right now, let's check some of the players we'll be keeping an eye on during the course of this afternoon's telecast.
Last year's Tassie medalist, Mark Nailey, is another of the interstate rovers starring in the VFL. The South Australian has had two excellent finals games for Carlton. Wayne Blackwell has given Carlton great service in his 5 years, and last Saturday in the second semi-final, he played superbly on the wing and had Brownlow medalist Robert Dipier-Domenico sent to the bench. Craig Bradley could be a major vote catcher in Monday night's Brownlow medal count, and his role in the centre of the ground will take on greater importance today in the absence of Wayne Johnston. Melbourne ruckman Steve O'Dwyer has blossomed this year into a real force, along with ruck partner Jim Steins. His aggression at the ball-ups and height on the forward line his greatest assets. Demon wingman Graeme Yeats hasn't won a high profile, but has won respect within the team for his running and space creating, which link defence and attack. Steve Newport had the difficult tagging job on Peter Dacos last week, and his fitness shone through in the last quarter when he got on top and kicked two vital goals to clinch the win.
Now, these two sides have met twice this year. In round 13 at VFL Park, Melbourne defeated Carlton 10-6-66 to 5-13-43 in a low-scoring affair. And in the last home and away round of the season, round 22 at the MCG, Melbourne defeated Carlton again 14-12-96 to 10-6-66, and they also defeated them in a practice match. So on that, you would have to say that winning form is good form. Now, we can see there from our camera on the tower the wide panorama of VFL Park, and let's go down there now to Don Scott for the toss this afternoon.
Greg Healy's won the toss and he is kicking to the scoreboard end, which is left of screen. Melbourne kicking to left of screen.
Well, Malcolm, did you see any of the reserves game, and which was the scoring end?
Well, certainly the end that Melbourne are kicking to, and Greg Healy has pointed. There is an advantage here, and it's very, very similar to their last round meeting. where in fact Melbourne, from memory, kicked 7-1 in that first quarter and really did set up that last game win that they played against each other.
Carlton having their huddle just broken up there. Jimmy Steins, Brownlow medalist Wilson. We'll be looking for some drive from them this afternoon. Gentlemen, who are we going for?
Well, I do favour Carlton. I think their experience is terrific. Gleeson and Glasgow are important coming back in. Winning the toss now to Melbourne's been very important for them, but I still favour Carlton in what should be a pretty good game.
Do we have to ask you, Ian?
Well, I think so. I tried very, very hard to be unbiased and look at it objectively as we have a look at Robert Flower on the Melbourne interchange bench. What a great player he was for the Demons. But I think Carlton could win. I appreciate that it'll be a very, very tough game, and the Hawthorn boys sitting watching in the grandstand will be hoping it goes right down to maybe the 25-minute mark of the last quarter. I think Carlton will win by about 16 points.
I agree with the margin, and I agree with the selection. But Melbourne, you've got to hand it to them. All these win-at-all-cost meetings they've had recently, they've come through virtually unscathed injury-wise, and here they are in the preliminary final again. Good luck to them. The start of the 1988 preliminary final between Melbourne and Carlton. Umpire Rowan Saws to bounce the ball. O'Dwyer went up unattended. Lovell, who played a great game last week, gets first kick of the match up towards half forward. There's a weight being used in there. Socket back again. Lovell for kick number 2. Up to full forward, tries to find Wight. And the ball hustled over the boundary line for Carlton by Aitken. Throw will take place underneath the main scoreboard. It's about 35 metres from the goal area. Steins at the back. Naily, well, through some very heavy traffic out there. First Carlton kick of the game. Kernahan down in defence at the moment, following the play, certainly. Now Bradley dragged off the ball. Should get a free kick, one would think. Richie will take it left centre wing. Craig Bradley drives Carlton forward for the first time in the game. The target is Dorotich, has it knocked away by Grinter. Hand pass comes out in the direction of Meldrum. Down goes Wilson, looks for the free kick, as he does most of the time. Good mark taken by Murphy. Gets it off to Naily, busy so far, at the 50-metre line. The hand pass is on to Blackwell, who shoots and scores a goal.
Tremendous start there by Carlton to work that ball forward. And against this breeze, which has been favouring the other end, which Melbourne are going to, a very, very handy goal indeed. Fraser Murphy in front. Naily was in two minds here, and like a good player, steadied and gave it to Blackwell. And from a standing start, excellent skills from Wayne Blackwell.
They didn't touch it much, Malcolm, the Demons, did they, in that first foray up forward for the Blues? O'Dwyer, big, boisterous. Ruckman gets it down. Healy can't break away. The ball still in the centre. Kernahan attempts to gather. Now it goes wide. Murphy. The Blues are up forward again. The kick by Murphy. There's a chance. In Dorotich. Off it goes to Gleeson. Another chance for the Blues. Paddling along in front of him, Gleeson. Now there's a chance for Sartori. He's caught with the football. Good tackle by Lovett. And the ball will be harassed through by the Demon defence for another score to the Blues. It's a behind. So Carlton 1-1. Lead by that margin. The Demons interchange bench with Flintoff and Phoebe as Danny Hughes kicks the ball in.
At the edge of the square.
The kick in has been marked. It's a Carlton mark at the back. It looks as though it might be Bradley. In towards full forward. Nearly another mark. Satori dispossessed. In comes Alvin on the forward line. Satori gathers. Naily very prominent early. Kick around the corner by Naily. Dorotich can't mark. Comes to the back. Now it's tidied up by Johnson. Johnson kicks it away to the 50-metre line. Blackwell. Good gather. Fair tackle by Williams, but in comes Bradley. Left foot kick around the corner as close to the line. It goes over on the full, and the free kick will be taken by Melbourne. And it'll be Alan Johnson. No, it won't. It'll be Stretch. Now the umpire says take it, Alan Johnson. And a short kick by Johnson has been marked by Healy.
Healy just up from the back pocket. Carlton starting the better of the two. Perhaps not really surprising, although the Blues going against the breeze. O'Dwyer, who slips over at the last minute, the ball out of bounds. And we'll see a throw in just about in the centre wing position, about 10 or 15 metres though. Carlton's attacking side of centre.
Silvani looks as though he's got the job on Lyon.
Yes, I was just about to say that. And Wight playing full forward with Aitken picking him up.
Two of the young Lions of VFL. There he is, Lyon. getting boot to ball. Melbourne swing into attack opportunity for Yeats. Hannah right behind him. Hannah making some pretty good ground. That was well played from Mill Hannah. A little bit slow to get rid of the ball. Fine tackle, Sean Wight. And again, the umpires not rewarding tackles perhaps as often as they might. Boundary throw in, 55 metres out. Left half forward flank for Melbourne. Steins tries to get it out the back to Healy. Nayley dispossessed pretty quickly. Kennedy on the bottom of the pack with Lovell. And Tempers again becoming frayed. The umpire might find a free kick. He has.
A silly play by Greg Healy there.
Nayley to take the free kick for Carlton. Nayley from right half back flank goes short to the centre wing. Kernahan. Dersma once again has the job on him. Might have given away the free kick. He has. Kernahan, we've seen him in defence a couple of times this quarter already, Ian, haven't we?
Yes, good play there by Kernahan, putting his body in front.
Dorotic has it knocked away by Dwyer at the last minute. Fellow redhead was number 18 stretch. Melbourne into attack once more.
Great kick. Poor effort there by Lyon. Dersma, out it goes to Healy. Healy off the side of the boot towards centre half forward. Sean Wight comes out in front. Strong player is Sean Wight. Kick off the ground. Gaelic football style up towards the forward pocket. But it rolls the wrong side of the behind post and it's out of bounds for a throw in about 3 or 4 metres around as the concern looks on Lofts, Walls and Kinnear, the Carlton Brains Trust. Deep in Melbourne scoring area. Steins and Dunlop. Steins with height. Kick by Jimmy Steins off the side of his boot. And it goes over the line. But a free kick been picked out of it. By the look of it, that ruck contest, maybe Steins just into the back of Dunlop. And Dunlop will take the free for Carlton in the back pocket. Melbourne supporters getting value for money.
Certainly. Kernahan playing a long way down the ground. He's playing at half-back flank. He's probably going to go for this kick-off.
He's been down in defence more than there he is punching it down now, and he has been in attack so far. Nayley looking dangerous already. That's his third possession. Bradley and Newport. Newport has the job of shadowing him, it would appear, and has done a particularly good job, Steve Newport, in the finals and in the latter part of the year. O'Dwyer and Madden. Madden gets the front position, palms it down, only to see it stolen by Wilson and turned to Jackson. Spalding, well, leaves it go for Kennedy. It's the old trick, let it go, mate. Thanks very much. Kennedy, left half-back flank for Carlton. Madden, front position. Blackwell was there. Meldrum fumbles at the crucial moment. Finally got his kick in. It travels only about 15 metres, if that. Nayley, burning in the first quarter. Dorotic at the back, nearly steals it from Grinter. Gleeson. Bradley, a chance. Newport can do the tidying up work for Melbourne, but only kicks it straight to Steve Kernahan. Could have done a little bit better with that kick. Out comes Danny Hughes, caught one on the shoulder. Nothing for that, says the umpire. Melbourne fans don't like it. Sartori, Elvin can score a goal. Scores behind instead. So Carlton, the only scores on the board so far. They lead by 8 points.
I would suggest that perhaps Tom Alvin, who's having a run on the ball, they're running off the half-back flank, and he is picking up the ruck rover, whoever that may be, on or off the ball at the time.
Yeah, some interesting moves early in the match. Hughes to kick the ball in. 18 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Kernahan, good punch by Madden. At half forward, a flip out there by Newport, goes to Stretch. Stretch's kick up towards the centre, and a good mark taken by Lyon as Silvani went the other way. Off it goes to Lovell. Lovell's kick to full forward, and a great mark taken by Steins. Tremendous athleticism by the big fellow. He's looking for 50 metres. Steins, short kick, wide, and the mark's been taken out there by Ricky Jackson. Well within kicking distance for Melbourne's first chance at goal.
First chance at score.
So you called it in. Isn't he a remarkable player, Steins? To get down like that, the size he is really a treat to watch.
So Ricky Jackson, 35 metres out, 45-degree angle. Punts for goal. It looks okay. It's a goal.
Well, the crowd certainly with Melbourne this afternoon here at VFL Park. Carlton has one of the highest memberships in the league. I would reckon supporters of the red and blue outnumber them 2 to 1.
Yes, they do indeed. As we watch Jackson here in replay with his kick, he is capable of kicking goals. He certainly has been down in recent weeks, but I'm sure that would be a confident start for Ricky Jackson and Melbourne's first goal.
Ricky Jackson booting Melbourne's first. The Demons trailed by 2 points, knocked down by Dwyer. Bradley off the ground. Dersma. Williams onto stretch at centre wing over the head of Meldrum. Kick is out very wide, almost out of bounds on the full in front of Kennedy and Healy, and it will be thrown in. Melbourne's attacking side of centre by about 20 metres.
Could have done better with that kick, do you think?
Yeah, certainly could have. He must try and get the ball back somewhere on the goal-to-goal line. You know, it really did waste a kick with the breeze.
Madden this time with Spalding. Madden's palming out work is brilliant. Williams picks up the crumbs pretty well over the head of Kennedy. Aitken, good tackle, White. Ball spills out of bounds. No easy kicks on Sean White down there. I still remember that tremendous mark he took last week. That really was a gem. Won't be mark of the year, but I tell you what, it was one of the best you'd see. Right in the goal square. Demons in attack again. There's Nailey once more. As I said, he's burning. Wilson can make amends here. Flipped out to O'Dwyer. A little bit slow to get rid of it. Back to Brian Wilson. From a standing start. Wilson's kick only about 35 metres. Jostling down there. Might have been against White. And the mark has been taken by Aitken. Dunlop. Over the top, the handball. Carlton through Rhys Jones. Hannah up towards centre wing. Dorotich, has he given away 50 metres? No. Yeats takes the kick. So he knocked it out of his hand. And up to half forward, Steins. Nailey again. Not an easy one for Dorotich to mark. Grinter, good spoil. In goes Hannah. Eventually socket away off the ground, out past Meldrum. It'll be a boundary throw-in.
It looks strong, doesn't it, Malcolm? The ball's holding up this way.
Yes, indeed it is, Ian.
Half forward flank now for the Demons, and Steins gets it out. Nailey gives it a good thump, and it goes over the line for another boundary throw-in. So precious time ticking away for Melbourne. They're kicking with the aid of a fairly strong breeze. The flags in the outer indicating going down to that main scoreboard end. Tap out, Wilson breaks away outside 50, goes for goal, it looks good, over the back, it's through, second goal to Melbourne.
And well shepherded through, wasn't it?
Terrific stuff by Sean White on the line. In fact, that was pretty good play all round then. What actually happened was Dunlop's gone for Nailey with his knockout. Wilson's read it and stolen the ball away from Nailey. Here it is here, he gets his left hand on it and taps it. There's Nailey, that ball is stolen from Wilson. Sizes up the opportunities. Aitken's in front, but White cleverly kept him out. Terrific play from Melbourne. Well read from Brian Wilson.
Wilson and Jackson, goal kickers for Melbourne. Wayne Blackwell, the goal kicker for Carlton. It's Melbourne by 4 points in the first quarter of the preliminary final. Out it comes to Williams. Only had his head taken off by Nailey. And it'll be another bounce just wide of the centre circle. 14 and a half minutes left in the opening term. Hamstring stretching on the sidelines. Thumped away by Williams, a good 15 metres, as good as a kick to Spalding. He'll be looking for White. Carlton defence through Dunlop. See the ball safely over the boundary line. But Melbourne would need possibly a 2 or 3 goal break at quarter time with this wind. Under 15 minutes left in the term. And it's going to be Dunlop and O'Dwyer. That's a wrestle. Dwyer got some fingers to it. Snapshot for goal for Melbourne is off target from Lyon. One behind. 1-2 to 2-1 at VFL Park. It's 5 points in favour of the Demons.
Just looking at Garry Lyon on Stilvin Silvani, Lyon just looks a bit too much manoeuvrability for him.
Very agile player, isn't he, Garry Lyon? Silvani kicks the ball in towards centre half back. Madden tries the flip to the rear. Blackwell gets a quick kick out into the centre. Good play by Dersma. Tackle by Kernahan was effective. Steins out. Yeats can't gather. Kernahan again a chance. He gets a quick kick into the centre. Dorotich is on his own. The hand pass all punched away well by Stretch. Now the Demons go into attack towards centre half forward. Leading out in the front is Lyon. Silvani there. And Lyon is up to beating Silvani. Left foot kick in short. Puts the Carlton defence under pressure. Aitken, dispossessed. He let it go a little bit too easily. White into an open goal. He can't pick it up off the ground. Sean White, it's going to roll through. Third goal to Melbourne.
Gaelic football at its best.
Yeah, Yes, once again, that goal really was set up by Garry Lyon. We just mentioned him, Ian, about his manoeuvrability when I finally got it out. But he really is troubling Stephen Silvani. As we look at the ball in replay, Aitken really didn't burst through with conviction, did he? Really was dispossessed too easily. And then Sean White had the presence under pressure to kick the ball off the ground. Pretty good play all round then from Melbourne, but just perhaps some sloppy play from Carlton.
So Sean White soccering one through for the Demons. That's their third goal. No one's got it out of the centre as yet. Rhys Jones goes through and have the ball with him. Williams in the bottom of the pack tries to effect a hand pass, knocked down to the ground by Spalding. Over the top from Steins, taking the hand pass from Wilson as stretch. Well, in fact, almost taking it. Murphy and Healy. Healy first there. Melbourne has the numbers. Wilson. Bradley. Newport's tag. The other way around, virtually. Bradley in towards midfield. Well, courage shown there by Yeats. Knocks the ball on in front. Gleeson didn't quite have it. Glascott farms it out to Hannah, who's caught with the ball by Jackson. Melbourne's tackling very good at the moment. Good hip and shoulder, put Lyon out of business, but he's still got the hand pass away. Well played to Yeats. Carlton has the numbers in defence. Sean White again, recovered well. Kept it in play. Bradley the chance, and the ball over the line. From Dunlop, it'll be a boundary throw in about 35 metres out.
I wonder if Robbie Walsh is thinking about that move of Lyon back onto White, perhaps, and Lyon to go to be changed onto White. You know, the move that's the same spot.
Well, Hawthorn last week put Mew onto Silvani, and he was a much more mobile player than Langford was.
Yeah, I'll get this out, Pete. I'm sorry. What I'm saying is that with White playing on Aitken, perhaps Aitken onto.
Just a straight swap. Aitken and Silvani.
Yeah.
We sorted that out now. It's a game of mobile chess, isn't it, at the best of times? Silvani to Gleeson. On a Madden. Over the top of Madden. Is that possible? Back up to centre wing. It's out of bounds. Right in the middle of the interchange area. It'll be a boundary throw in centre wing.
Players still finding it difficult. We're 20 minutes into the quarter, handling the slippery ball, and perhaps haven't quite settled down yet. On centre wing. Comes to the back now. Meldrum's a chance. A quick kick by Paul Meldrum up towards half forward. Naily over the top. Kicked by the Demon defence back towards the wing. Bradley can't mark. It's flipped to the rear Lyon. Good tidy up Meldrum. He's around the neck by Lovell. No, he's not. It's dropping the ball. And Lovell rewarded for persistence. And he'll put Melbourne into attack. He plays on quickly across the top of the logo. Up towards half forward. Silvani. A little tentative. Lyon. Spalding. Back onto the left foot. Earl Spalding outside 50. Tries the short pass towards White. Dispossessed. Bradley there to help out the key defender in Aitken. Out wide. Bradley's kick has been marked by Hannah. And a good handling of the football by Millum Hannah. A couple of times he's looked a little slow. And that was a good mark. His kick covers 45 metres towards the wing. Kernahan's bumped off it by Dersma. Tidied up by Stretch. Stretch's left foot kick goes back towards the half-forward area. And a free kick has been given down there. It's a relayed kick against Kernahan on Stretch. And it'll be taken by Greg Healy.
Just watching this in replay, Stretch really was very, very little in it. And very, very soft decision from the umpire.
Melbourne captain in towards half forward. Gathered by Lyon. He's proving to be dangerous. A kick is a little too high. Over to the opposite forward pocket. Blackwell. The bounce is awkward. Aitken knocks his teammate over. Dunlop in there to help out. Good play by Jamie Dunlop. He gets his foot to the ball and kicks it out between wing and half forward for the Demons. Lovett over the top to Wilson. Back to Lovett's. Good football by the Demons. Into half forward. Punch away by Glascott. Pick up by Spalding. Up towards half forward. Thump away by Aitken. Meldrum's a chance in slow motion football. Blackwell at half back. Blackwell's kick high. Out towards the wing, and Johnson takes the mark in front of Naily. It was one or the other. It was nearly out on the full.
He would have got it anyway, wouldn't he?
Johnson takes the mark for Melbourne.
Been a great player in the finals, Adam Johnson. Over the top, Rhys Jones. Is that in the back? Asked Melbourne supporters. No, says the umpire. Madden does the tidying up for Carlton. Goes to the boundary line. Dorotich cannons into the back of Wilson. Blackwell. He'll be content to see it out of bounds. Gleeson. He has taken it out of bounds. It'll be thrown in on right half forward flank.
That move has been made. In fact, it's Rhys Jones and Silvani have swapped, and yeah, they really are in trouble up forward to Carlton. Looking very slow indeed.
Jackson and Kennedy. Ball spills free. Meldrum does well. Did he go out of bounds? No, says the boundary umpire. The kick is okay. Too long for Dorotic. Kernahan tries some soccer tactics. Didn't really work. Dorotic, sure, put the boot in. Free kick. It'll be taken by Dersma. One of these days we'll see a really bad injury resulting from something like that.
Poor play by Mark Nayley there. He pushed the football in the face of the Melbourne player and he's got 50-metre penalty against him.
You watch this in replay here as the ball is scooped in under, and Dorotic really did come in very clumsily indeed.
Up to Melbourne's half-forward line again. Spalding, almost a fresh air shot. Bradley off the ground to centre wing, or almost to that position. The mark has been taken by Graeme Yeats. Looks it back across his body to centre half-forward. Mark's difficult to take. The ball is pretty slippery. Jackson breaks there, but the umpire's given a free kick to Silvani, it will be.
Shipping in within 5 metres of the ball in the end. It's quite right too. And the first time really Stephen Silvani's into the game.
Silvani to centre wing. Looks for Madden or Hannah. Another free kick. Going to Madden. Well, Carlton getting a charmed run in that department at the moment. Madden's kick. Didn't go long. Found Kernahan in front of Dersma. He's covered a lot of ground this quarter. Carlton captain Alvin to half-forward. Dorotic, one-hander. Not Aitken. Hand pass from Satori. Dorotic was not too bad. One behind was the end result. 1-3 to 3-1. 10 points the difference in favour of Melbourne. And 7.5 minutes left in the quarter.
Gee, that was a golden opportunity. Hughes kicks the ball in short. Healy, good gather in the back pocket. High ball out towards the wing. Rhys Jones punches it away from Williams and it goes over for a boundary throw-in. There's Garry Lyon, who's playing on the half-forward line. Sees it over at half-back for Melbourne. Throw-in. Madden tries to get it to the back to Alvin. Good gather by Healy. And he kicks the Demons into attack up towards half-forward. Silvani and Spalding. Goes to the back. Race on now for Kennedy. Goes to the defensive side and hooks the ball across his body close to the line and finds that safety with just 7 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Fair play there by the Carlton defender. Big Steve O'Dwyer and Jamie Dunlop to do the ruck work. Greg Healy at the back. Lyon in there. He gathers, gets a quick kick out of it. Good play by Garry Lyon. It's now inside 50 metres. Sean White tries a flip out. Here's a chance now for Melbourne. Kick off the ground by Bradley. Clean bowls Yeats. Hannah's at the back. Yeats with clever play. Pushes it back in towards half forward. At the back. Overrun by Newport. Poor play. Gather by Yeats. Shot for goal by Yeats is home.
It's a remarkable play then from Graeme Yeats. As he called it, being clean bowled originally when the kick came in. But what a fantastic tap back and then a missed kick. And then had the presence still to be in it. And as we watch this, he really did tap that back beautifully. For I think Newport was the one that missed it. Then he had the presence to tap it out. And then a fantastic snapshot from Yeats. Yeah, it's just the goal that Melbourne needed. Carlton were just starting to hold them, I thought. But they really needed that goal then.
6.25 minutes left in the first term. Great effort by Yeats there as Madden fires the hand pass back. Plenty of Carlton players down there. The Blues there in abundance. Dersma, head taken off. Free kick. Melbourne starting well. But they have the breeze, of course, in the opening term. The pass is to Johnson. Good long kick by the West Australian. Down to half forward. Kennedy up. Got a couple of hands to it. Couldn't take it. Aitken off the ground in front of Healy. It will be out of bounds. Almost deliberate. Won't be paid by the umpire. The throw-in will take place about 55 metres out. Melbourne supporters in abundance here this afternoon at league headquarters. Down by Madden is really ineffectual, that sort of last quarter stuff, but I suppose, well, you can't really argue with that on the back line.
Got to waste some time with the breeze too. I mean, as much as Madden can do of that, the better.
We'll see how strong the breeze is in the next term when Carlton has use of it. Gleeson in front. Dersma, well played. Had a good deal on Kernahan when they last met in the home and away matches, round 22, and did a particularly good job. And he's won that task again this afternoon. And keep Steve Kernahan quiet. He's well on the way to beating Carlton. O'Dwyer and Madden both had fresh air shots. O'Dwyer tries to soccer it off the ground. No one making too much headway down there. Went between O'Dwyer's legs. Silvani missed it. Pretty untidy football here at the moment. Lyon's hand pass ineffective. Players hunting impacts. Kennedy on the bottom of it. It'll be a bounce. Still right half forward flank. 4.5 minutes to go. See if you can get it out, Ian.
Yes, it's a bit of a tussle. I think Carlton can appreciate that the breeze is about 4 goals, and that's what Melbourne have kicked so far. It's at half forward, just outside the 50-metre line. O'Dwyer going for the ruck work. Chance for Reece Jones. He's pulled off the football. Now Jackson with pace. Gets clear. Kicks to the front of the square. White and Aitken. Very, very close to the boundary line as Sean White gathers the football. He could have been given one. He's on the bottom of the pack, and his persistence has paid off. Very difficult angle though for Sean White.
Yeah, so you'll see Adrian Gleeson come in and really jump on the top of him here, and I even looked a bit shade soft too, but doesn't Sean White add something to that Melbourne forward line? He almost took the mark and then has that great recovery on the ground.
It's a very important kick, quite close to quarter time. White kicks for goal. It's not bad. He thinks it's there. It's there.
2 goals to White in the opening term. A little bit different that one, because the other one was good Gaelic or soccer stuff off the ground.
You'd have to say the free kick was a shade soft. It looked probably worse from the umpire's point of view from where he was. But didn't he do that really well? I mean, that was terrific courage, even to do that and then to get back on the ball. And Gleeson really didn't sit on him. He really tried to keep his feet, but what an excellent, excellent kick.
Back in the centre. They've kicked 5 now, the Demons. Here's a chance for Carlton. Gleeson gets through at centre half forward. 3 minutes remaining. Out wide. Dorotic can't mark. Gets his hands to it. Plays on now. Kicks around to the front of the square. Kernahan, he's bustled off the football. He goes after it again, Steve Kernahan. Shot for goal is over the top. And tidying up there for Melbourne is Grinter, who takes the mark right up against the goal line. So Rodney Grinter for the Demons to turn that Carlton attack away. Good torpedo punt kick. Goes 55. Out towards the half-back area. O'Dwyer takes the mark. Play on, says the umpire. It comes out the back towards the centre wing area. Leading in the race for the ball, Silvani. Looking a little lethargic as Steve Silvani. Lovell over the top. Intercept Dunlop. Tidy up there, Alvin. Short kick. Chance now for Silvani. Gets it round the corner now to Nailey, running onto the football. In towards half forward. Dorotic can't mark. At the back, Meldrum pushed off it. Lovell, strong in defence. Kicks it into the centre. Wilson's on his own. Now Melbourne can mount something with just 2.5 minutes remaining in the first term. He goes and gives Lyon a chance to run at it. Lyon, left foot shot for goal by Lyon. Is across the face and through for a behind. Well, the crowd would have been thrilled by that Melbourne foray. And unfortunately, it only resulted in a behind.
John Dorotic has dropped 5 marks, Ian. I'd said it to this in this quarter. A couple under pressure, but a couple of ones you thought he would have snapped up.
A good hip and shoulder by Jamie Duursma down there too. That really started that Melbourne thrust. Reece Jones boots the ball in, long to the outer side. The target is Sartori. Healy to White. Can he make it 3 for the quarter? No. Out of bounds on the full, I would reckon, or is it a behind?
Oh, what a golden opportunity then, too.
One behind.
I mean, he's quite competent on his left foot, too.
To the Demons, 1:47 remaining in the quarter. So Sean White proving more than a handful for the Carlton defence at the moment. Represented on this occasion by Reece Jones. Shocking kick in. Might still come out of it okay. Kennedy will pick it up. Kicks it straight to the opposition. Mark for Melbourne taken by Graeme Yeats, who plays on, looking for and finding Jackson.
They're using a little bit more method, aren't they?
Jackson goes in short. Could have been a hospital drop that one, but Garry Lyon didn't let him down. Kicked a little bit higher than perhaps he needed to. Had to get it over the head of Reece Jones, who stands the mark. And that's the angle. Confronting Garry Lyon. The pressure on him. You can see the score in the top left-hand corner of the screen. It's been a good quarter for Melbourne, but they have the win. That'll be close. It's a goal. 6 goals in the quarter to Melbourne. Garry Lyon's first.
This is almost history repeating itself on round 22 of the minor round, when Melbourne kicked 7 to Carlton's 1. And really, Stephen Silvani has been such a great player all year. Just seems to be, with that extra room, really does like that bit of zip out forward. If you look at this kick from behind the goals, what a great camera shot, and it never looked like missing.
The defenders, Malcolm, have been very, very loose. Reece Jones, Aitken, Dunlop, you mentioned Silvani. Back in the centre, Melbourne leading by 5 goals. Very close now. Wilson out of the centre. Melbourne another chance if they can get a possession here. Jackson at the back will run inside 50. Kick around the corner by Jackson. And fortunately for Carlton, the mark has been taken by Aitken.
Well, actually, Melbourne's kicked the last 6 goals because Carlton had the first on the board, didn't they?
Kicked the first, yep. Aitken in the back pocket. Kicks it out wide. Making position Satori. Yeats killing Hannah. Short kick. Just goes past Rhys Jones. Sean Wight close to the line. And we'll have a boundary throw in right on 50 metres. So with just 15 seconds remaining, perhaps no more score can be added.
Well, they might get a free kick. It's always possible. 5 goals the difference. No one really keen to go after the ruck work. Good tackle by Garry Lyon. And there's the siren though for the end of the first quarter. A good one for Melbourne, but remember, Melbourne had the breeze in the opening term. 6-3-39 to 1-3-9 in the 1988 preliminary final.
What about that White's done it to me again, Ian?
Yeah.
It's like round 1, wasn't it? I couldn't get it out.
Right.
Hey?
I should tell the viewers that he's probably got about 8 jumpers in his kit bag and he can change them all the
Same thing happened every time I'd start mentioning Sean. Jesus.
Well, I reckon
what
that's
about the greatest waffle.
That's the way the play's been, actually. Carlton's play, anyway. It's been so terrible, hasn't it?
Why didn't you just say Aitken and Silvani to swap? Would have been easier than talking about the Melbourne plays.
I didn't register for a long time.
Oh, Jesus, Arturo. What is it? I knew, I thought it was Italian. What is it? I wasn't going to look down. I thought he'll kick the friggin' thing. Do they 67? Fewer stayed away. Was it 6-3 to 1-3? Is that right?
Yeah.
6-3 to 1-3.
Jesus, what a ballser. Oh, I can. Yeah, oh, that's embarrassing. I couldn't. Bloody White. Why does he play? He's stuffed me up twice now. Game 1 and preliminary final day.
No, I knew. I knew it.
Yeah, Aitken's very wide.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
And he kicks with the right, the other bloke kicks with the left.
Yes.
Stretch Barney's pulling. Where's White? Gersman, Phoebe, Flintoff, Günther, Healy, Hughes, Jackson, Johnson, Lovell, Lovett.
Recruited from Ireland in 1995, Sean White has proven, for Melbourne at least, to be the best export from that land since the leprechaun. Sean learned the basics of the Australian game playing the Gaelic code in his home country, and it didn't take long for him to show Demon fans that he could easily adapt to the more physical aspects of VFL football. White came of age in 1987, his clearing dashes from defence stamping him as one man who was a driving force behind Melbourne's return as a football power.
And Sean Wight, 4 kicks and 2 goals so far, would be a very happy man, Malcolm Blight.
Yes, well, Carlton started the game off very well in the first 5 minutes, and then Melbourne steadied, and this player certainly had a lot to do with it. Graeme Yeats playing on the wing, as we see him get this goal. But Melbourne just gradually forced itself forward, and I really do think that Carlton have been in trouble in defence. Silvani looks out of touch. Rhys Jones is out of touch to some degree. They've swapped them round, and also Aitken and Dunlop on the last line of defence just look a bit iffy at this stage. But now kicking with the win, Carlton's turn.
Let's take a look at the match stats. 51-61, the kicks in favour of Melbourne. The marks 11-9 in favour of the Demons. The hit-out, or handballs rather, fairly even. And the hit-outs 9-9. The shots at goals 9-4. Garry Lyon has had 7 kicks and 3 hand passes, and is playing particularly well as we go down to the boundary line. Don Scott and Peter McKenna.
Yes, well, Peter, the umpires are going to use a new ball. They consider this an adverse weather day. The players in Melbourne camp, they came in encouraging one another. John Northey said keep the ball low, and he is contemplating playing a loose man on the back line.
Robert Walls, on the other hand, he was absolutely savage. He ripped into Dorotic about his marking. He ripped into the defenders. He ripped into almost every player, and he said they have to make the most of this end with the win and to kick to the outer side of the ground and kick long.
Thanks, Peter.
Second quarter at VFL Park. Melbourne leads by 30 points. A great first quarter by the Demons. Carlton has the breeze in this term, knocked down by Dwyer, albeit not very far. Good hip and shoulder then by Spalding. And umpire Ross Castles will bounce it. It's wide of the centre circle. Foggy start to the day here in Melbourne with persistent drizzle. It's now cleared, but little or no prospect of sunshine. Ground not too bad. Hannah takes it from Spalding. Over the head of Stretch. Dersma and Kernahan. 2-on-1 in favour of Carlton. And wisely, Dersma goes for the boundary line and gets the desired result.
It's amazing, isn't it, Jamie Dersma? He's had a couple of cracks at VFL football, and here he is in a final playing desperate football.
Well, actually 3. Started at Hawthorn, went to the Sydney Swans, got a broken leg up there, I think, from memory. Now in Melbourne side. Eldon, the half forward. Newport in the road in front of Dorotic. Good, the wrath of Robert Walls at quarter time for his marking, or lack of it.
Deservedly so.
Williams at the back has to punch down, and finally will do it himself. Kick is short though. Stands up into the breeze. Late on the scene, Rhys Jones. It'll be a Melbourne free kick. Garry Lyon to take it. It'll be his 8th kick so far. Nothing in it.
He really has played well.
Garry Lyon from right centre wing. Got a bit of distance with that kick too. Silvani went up one hand. Did he get into the back of his opponent? No, says the umpire. Jackson rows it well at right half forward flank. Gets the bounce he required. Centering kick. Looking for Wight. Off his hands. Yeats almost. Wight again. A goal. It's his 3rd.
Yes, and I think that's the button that Robert Walls has now got to push as we watch a bit of a melee in the goal square. I think what's got to happen here is that they've really got to do something, Carlton, with their defence, and probably the best way to do that is to put Silvani at full forward and try and get him to do some magic up forward. Melbourne are really running away with this game unless something happens as we look from behind the goals. The kick goes into the square. Yeats is caught, and Sean Wight for goal number 3. I think some changes have got to be made. And I would suggest, I know their defenders are really under pressure. Their players around the ball aren't really firing, so you've really got to just swap the side around now. 6 goals down in the preliminary final is a long way to come back.
Yeah, they're sharp, aren't they, Melbourne? And Carlton look very, very lethargic.
And Sean Wight is blitzing them in the goal square. 2 off the ground and another beautiful goal.
6 goals, Melbourne lead by. O'Dwyer gets it out. Meldrum can't get the kick away. Now he's got another chance. Kicks now towards half forward. Dorotic can't mark. Good punch away by Grinter. Bradley bumped off the football. Johnson likewise. Dersma ducks his head. Play goes on. Chance now for Carlton. Murphy goes out to Bradley. Bradley over the top. Satori in the goal square puts it through for Carlton's 2nd.
To say that that was a badly needed goal by Carlton would be an understatement. But they got the ball out the centre then. Melbourne had a couple of tries. As we watched Mil Hannah coming off the ground, and going on the ground will be Ian Herman. They really just did force it after some good body work. Kernahan Very lucky not to give away the free. Dersma well tackled. Murphy over to Bradley, and Bradley just set up Satori for a very easy goal.
(15-45), Carlton's second goal. It's almost like a VFL team playing at Subiaco. There was very little applause for the Blues for that major. Rhys Jones at half-back almost spins into trouble. Herman's first touch, he's just come on the ground, did so during the break. Up towards half-forward, is that a mark to Dersma? The umpire will pay. Not the better of Kernahan so far. Out to centre wing, Herman, touch number 2. Went for the tap on, I suppose it had come up in the stats. Glascott ducking his head, lob it over the top. Stalemate, according to the umpire, has a few words to Rhys Jones as he comes in too. It'll be a bounce on centre wing.
Glascott appealing there.
Not trying to get LBW in Pakistan, I think. Knocked down by Madden. Healy fumbles. Meldrum likewise. We'll go through it all again. 21.5 minutes left in the second quarter. Hannah enjoys a stint on the bench. Madden does it easily. Actually, Naily smothered the kick. Herman a chance. Puts the body in front. In goes Lovett. Pretty untidy passage of play at the moment. No one making too much headway. It's advanced possibly some 15 metres from those 2 bounces we had on centre wing.
Herman without his right boot there, Peter.
O'Dwyer and Madden. Run by Madden. Gleeson shows speed. Kernahan spilt the mark. Healy. They all look easy from up here. Healy's kick very close to the boundary line. Silvani in front of Lyon. No, he's not. Garry Lyon playing it beautifully today. Preliminary final 88. Centering kick. Looks for and finds Sean White. A great mark.
Can you believe Stephen Silvani can play this poorly?
Not one of his better efforts so far. White, a long kick. Steins, the target. Oh, almost dragged it down from behind. Lyon there again. Beautiful flip out the back to Jackson off the ground for another one. They've kicked 3 off the ground, Melbourne.
Yes, and that's what happens when the ball's down there incessantly. Well, just something crossed my mind then. Justin Madden to Wayne Johnson's not happening for Carlton. Madden is really being matched by O'Dwyer as we look at this in replay. Good contest there and very clever play from Steins to set it up. And White was terrific, Lyon was terrific. They've really got troubles in defence. They are not taking the ball away from any packs. Justin Madden appears to be jumping early.
Well, they lead again, Melbourne, by 6 goals. Pretty handy. In the centre, Wilson gets the hand pass out. It's long. Silvani pushed off the football. His kick goes to half forward. Cleared away by Stretch out wide. Blackwell and Yeats, the 2 number 8s. And Blackwell may just win out. No, he doesn't. He can't do much with the football, and it goes over for a boundary throw-in. I think most of the estimated 70,000 crowd would be fairly well stunned. Melbourne have opened magnificently. It comes to the back. There's a free kick being picked out of that ruck contest. It's going to Carlton, to big Justin Madden.
Against O'Dwyer in the back.
Poor play by Meldrum. Didn't get the football back to him and gives the Demons chance to get back. O'Dwyer back there now to just block it up a little bit at centre half forward. Madden comes in now, kicks in short. Elvin, oh, they're dropping chest marks. You can't believe this. And the umpire's paid it.
Is that a mark, Melbourne?
Well,
So
Elvin
it wasn't. I think he just presumed he'd mark it, and umpires shouldn't presume.
plays on. It goes into the Carlton forward area. Johnson gets the hand pass out. Newport thunk when he got the hand pass away. Lovett. He's got another player on forward. Williams. He's down though after he got rid of it. Lovett. There's a bit of a dust up behind play. The ball goes up towards half forward. Rhys Jones is under pressure. He can get clear. He gets the hand pass back to Elvin. Elvin's kick is a poor one. Williams is a chance for Melbourne. He comes in and takes a chest mark. Short kick by Williams off the side of his boot. Up towards half forward. Here's big Jimmy Steins. He's doing it like a rover. He's dragged off the football. Over the shoulder, says the umpire. Now advantage paid. Lovell out wide. Here come the Demons again. Jackson with pace. He'll outrun Silvani. Silvani with strength, trying to brush it back towards Naily, and the Blues out of trouble as Naily kicks it wide to the wing.
Excellent play by Silvani to get it away from the rover. The two number 8s, Yeats and Blackwell again. Blackwell does this time win out. Kernahan hasn't had the greatest of days so far either, Steve Kernahan. Meldrum, he led the Brownlow last year for the greater part of the night. Wonder how he will fare on Monday. Dorotich again spilled a mark. Newport goes down. Bradley's there. Dorotich. I don't know what he was trying to do there. Johnson looks for Dersma. And he's content in front of Steve Kernahan to see it out.
Gee, there's a tremendous amount of panic going on from the Carlton players. It looks as though they're trying to rush everything. And you'd think that they were the more experienced side. Well, they are, and they really are rushing, panicking.
It's shell-shocked at the moment. See what Gleeson can do with a hand pass. Gets it out to Nailey, whose kick is into the goal square. That should be a mark of Bradley. Is it? No. Newport?
Certainly. Certainly.
Play that.
I was going to make a comment before that you'd reckon Carlton have backed Melbourne. The Carlton players have backed Melbourne the way they're playing.
It only happens in overseas games, doesn't it?
Even that there should have been taken one back, grabbed by Craig Bradley, as they really wanted the footy. And, yeah, they really are a bit fumbly at the moment.
Well, Bradley at point-blank range, he'd have to fall over to miss it. They badly needed one for Carlton. It will be their third. Bradley 3 metres out. Puts through Carlton's third goal.
Still trail by 5 though.
Listen, Craig Bradley has played a fair bit up forward. He's had runs on the ball and looks as though he's now going back onto the ball.
9 kicks, 1 hand pass, Malcolm.
Yes, it hasn't been as productive 9 kicks as he normally has. Once again, there's that mark, that two-hander. Certainly was a mark, but it's exactly what Carlton need. They need a couple of quick ones, and it really needs Madden to get on top, get this ball forward. Gleeson looks to be in reasonable touch.
Yes, Carlton preparing to make a change as Steve DeRuy on the boundary line. Be interesting to see who's got the message from the runner to come off. The bounce in the centre, Madden tries to get it away. Good punch out there by Lovell, but it's intercepted there by Gleeson up towards half forward. Kernahan stays on the ground, round the neck. That has to be one, surely. The umpire a long way away from it, but he's given the free kick to Steve Kernahan, 50 metres out from goal.
This would test him, although there is that slight breeze with him, or certainly a breeze. So he would go very close with this kick, providing that wind still as strong as it was early in the game.
Well, the flags are still blowing quite strongly down towards the main scoreboard end, so Kernahan about to back himself. Kicks it high across the face, and it goes through for a behind to Carlton. So the difference is 29 points, and we've got 16 and a half minutes left in the second term. Melbourne have done it pretty well. They led by 5 goals at quarter time, and they've kicked 2 goals against the Breeze in the second term. The kick in comes to the members' side. Williams is in good position and takes the mark for Melbourne at half back. David Williams a little bit sure of the Demons with their ball handling. Kick towards the wing. Silvani up well before acceptances. Kick off the ground, goes into the centre. Gathered by Yeats. As he falls, he hand passes. Slightly ineffective. Silvani's there. Left foot kick covers 45 metres. Up towards half forward. Stones nearly grabbed it. Dersma, a good player. Kick goes back to Kernahan. Off to Nailey. Nailey goes for goal and bangs it through.
Isn't that fantastic stuff? A smother in football is one of the great plays in our game, and it was really the smother that set that up, with Melbourne and Dersma looking to go forward as Dorotich has been taken from the ground, and he'd be very disappointed. Here's the smother from Alvin. The trajectory of the hands was right, and then Nailey from the 50-metre line set up Carlton's 4th goal.
Badly needed one for Carlton. Nailey's first. The other goal kickers, Blackwell, Sartori and Bradley. Justin Madden looks as though he's just run the 10,000 metres. 28 to 51 in favour of Melbourne. Nailey's first goal. Bradley, kick number 11. Carlton starting to get their act together perhaps a little bit now. The 2 rovers, the twins. Murphy, well shepherded. Lovell in pursuit. Gets his kick in and has put it through. Carlton supporters finding voice at last.
And this is more like the Carlton that we've come to know over the last few years, in fact for some time, that they can play their football in bursts and they can kick 5 or 6 quick goals, and really getting the ball out the centre has been the key. Bradley there, back in there now, as we see Murphy had the option of Gleeson, then Gleeson tried to shepherd, but Murphy kicked very, very truly.
Back into the centre, 34 to 51 now. That was Fraser Murphy's first goal. 15 and a half minutes left in the term. Carlton looking a bit better in.
Well, no one can break out of that ruck contest from the centre circle area, and the umpire will bounce again. Madden and O'Dwyer. Madden gets it down. Alvin can't break clear. Gleeson's a chance. Now Alvin. Quick kick. He doesn't get his foot to the ball. It's a chance. Still a struggle for possession. Now Melbourne get it out through Newport. His kick is smothered. Wilson a chance. Kick off the ground. Up towards the... between centre and centre half forward. Lyon's kick towards the half forward area. Good gather by Spalding. He's pulled off the football. Wight punches it wide. Chance for Williams. He gets back onto the left foot. Now he hand passes over the top. Wight onto the left foot. He'll be tackled by Herman. He's caught with the football. And holding the ball is the decision by the umpire, as Sean Wight must have been licking his chops. Only 35 to 40 metres out. Herman's kick out wide, looking for Madden, and Madden doesn't let him down. He takes the mark on centre wing, and it's been paid. Big Justin Madden, looking to play on quickly, put the Carlton team into attack. It goes over centre wing, up towards half forward, looking for Kernahan. He can't mark. It comes to the bottom of the pack. Now there's a struggle. Alvin's there trying his hardest. Wilson, Healy, caught by Nayley, and he's caught with the football, and the umpire says free kick to Mark Nayley between wing and half forward.
And Silvani's been moved up forward with Doricic going off the ground.
Nayley's kick towards centre half forward. Marking contest. It's a Carlton mark. It's the captain, Stephen Kernahan. 50 metres from goal. He got the distance the last time he kicked.
Wasn't that an excellent mark too? There's a big pack there, pack of 4, and Kernahan late and over the top. An excellent mark.
Kernahan directly in front. High ball. Gets the distance. It's home.
So the confidence that Carlton lacked early in the game, and for the first part of this second quarter, is now starting to come back as their skipper starts to take marks. 13 minutes go. Carlton kicking the last 4 goals as we watch this great mark from Kernahan. Robert Walls has had to make some changes, certainly in defence, and also now with Silvani going up forward. Nayley started to touch the ball again, and Alvin's done some very good work under the bottom of the packs.
Carlton have kicked the last 4 goals. Melbourne leads by only 11 points. O'Dwyer hits it straight to Bradley. Is he doing the Wayne Johnston job out of the centre? He certainly had a lot of kicks so far, Bradley. So far 11, 1 hand pass, 2 marks and 1 goal. A little bit more crowded now around the circle. Madden thumps it forward. Wilson hasn't done that much so far. Looks for and finds on the run. Stretch. Williams back to that same player. Stretch goes long. Melbourne into attack. Carlton's defence has tightened up in the last few minutes. Aitken wobbles it to the boundary line deliberately, but it won't be paid. Not quite as blatant as some we've seen, but that was the intent. Pretty tough if he penalised him though for that, wouldn't it? Dunlop and Steins. Steins wins it straight to Gleeson. Oh, trip against Spalding would have to be.
There's a very, very untidy go at the ball from Spalding.
Gleeson's free kick, not a particularly well kicked ball that one. Herman to Alvin. His smother earlier in this quarter resulted in a goal. Silvani and Grinter. Grinter out the back. Flips it straight to his opponent, Silvani, 20-metre hand pass, finds Sartori. Will they make it the last 5 goals, Carlton? Not with that one, it's 1 behind. So a point to Carlton, makes the difference now 10 points. How many lip readers out there?
Bad miss that one, I feel. White's goal for Melbourne early in when the first quarter was vital.
Herman underneath it. Williams likewise. Bradley's punch is effective. Nayley coming into his own now in this quarter. He's had a lot of kicks. Sartori almost took the grab. A wild hand pass from Grinter. Nayley in front. Kernahan. Dersma runs it to Silvani. In trouble. Silvani comes out with the ball. Free kick going Melbourne's way. And it will be taken by Jamie Dersma.
He's got that habit of just ducking his head at psychological moments. Not a good sign, but he's got away with it this time when he really was in possession of the ball.
Yes, a little bit lucky. Dersma from the square. Favouring member stand side. Good punch away by Derui. And the umpire has blown the whistle. He didn't punch it away quickly enough.
Could have been 50?
Yes, why not? Spalding. Up to centre wing. Rhys Jones with a good punch. Melbourne players at the fall of the ball. Wilson and Jackson. A wild punch over the top. Rhys Jones to the 50-metre line. over the head of Kernahan. Lovell is there, runs into a teammate, opens it up for Silvani. Good block by Johnson. Meldrum, well caught Johnson. Out to Grinter. Now is that deliberate as well?
Yeah, that's
almost, says the umpire. It'll be a throw.
They've played it in the last 2 weeks of the finals. I can't believe that they wouldn't try it there. Inside 50 metres, boundary throw in Carlton's forward area. O'Dwyer gets it down. Now there's a chance for Melbourne to come clear. A quick kick off the ground and it goes over the boundary line on the full, and the free kick will go to Carlton to be taken by Herman, who's done pretty well since he's come on the ground. In short, Kernahan. If it's not a mark, it's obviously a free kick. The umpire signifies that he's paying the mark to Steve Kernahan, and that's the difference in the Carlton team. Kernahan started to get the football.
They seem to have lifted Ian in the last 10 minutes.
Yes, well, I think if you watch your captain taking a few marks and getting a few possessions, it certainly is a lift for the other players. And Steve Kernahan, one may have thought he's been playing poorly, but look at those statistics. He punts for goal. It's coming around with a breeze. Has it got no length? Yes! But Carlton trail by 4 points.
Yes, I think you've hit the nail on the head there, Ian, that Stephen Kernahan, Sean White and Ian Aitken at the other end of the ground, unbelievably, at the other end of the ground after that Kernahan goal, and Dunlop comes in to help his teammate out. But the captain is starting to take marks and is looking dangerous. And gee, the kicking, Ian, is markedly noticed that way longer, kicking that into the ground.
Very definitely. So back in the centre, the Demons lead by 4 points. Their lead has been whittled away. At one stage in this second term, they led by 6 goals. Nayley gets it out of the centre, long hand pass. Here come the Blues again. Rhys Jones outside 50, sends a long bomb in towards scoring distance. At the back, there's a chance for Hughes to clean up here for Melbourne. He's quick kick up towards the wing. There's a chance for a Melbourne possession. It's young Phoebe on the ground and he kicks it up towards half forward. Good interception by Bradley. Kick off the ground, goes back towards the Carlton half forward area. It goes through Meldrum. Stretch is under pressure. Murphy there, Meldrum and Stretch. And Stretch comes clear for the Demons. He's kicked towards the wing. There's a marking contest and Spalding has been interfered with. He goes after it again. There's no free kick. The umpire says play on. Herman caught with the football. He gets the hand pass out and it goes over the boundary line for a throw in as Spalding remonstrates with umpire Castle. Where was my free kick?
Well, the umpire was about 40 metres away. That's why.
So boundary throw in centre wing right at the players' interchange area. At the back, Madden gets it down towards Alvin. Now there's a chance for Herman off the ground. Greg Healy at the back's a little fortunate to take a possession. Up towards half forward and a good mark to the diminutive forward pocket rover for Melbourne, Ricky Jackson. He's slightly forward of centre wing.
Long way from goal. Melbourne need a goal to steady. Carlton well on top at the moment. Stein's underneath the ball. At the back is De Rui and Spalding. It's out of bounds. Right forward pocket for Melbourne. And Love lost down there between that pair. And they'll contest this bounce. Dunlop getting the front position. Stein's over the top. Actually, Lyon came in to knock it away. Bradley. Been watching Diego Maradona, I think. Style like that. Grinter. In the back to Yeats. He'll take the free kick. Left half forward flank. Making position as Healy. Will have to come back though, it looks like.
Kick over the man on the mark, I think, Peter.
7.25 minutes left in the second term. It's been a good one for Carlton, as Ian mentioned not too long back. The Blues at one stage trailed by 6 goals, so they've done well to peg back. Love it. Short pass over the head of Healy, but Steins is in front of Dunlop and marks in the pocket.
Terrific. Terrific running from Lovett. Meldrum obviously was kept sound asleep and really has set up a Melbourne goal.
They set up the operative words. He's getting 50 metres, is he?
Lyon and Rhys Jones at it in the forward pocket.
Yes, the tempo of the game has certainly warmed up, hasn't it, in the last 15 minutes with Carlton kicking goals.
Well, Melbourne went to sleep, did they? Perhaps they thought they had it won or something. I don't know, but Carlton through Kernahan and Bradley have clawed their way back well.
Yeah, Nayley started to touch the football again. He's been a very good player.
Interesting to watch the man on the mark out there where Steins has the football. He's cribbed about 4 metres while the umpires are up there with their back to the play. The player on the mark has gained 4 metres for Carlton.
Still going.
Yes, and it could be vital because I think Jimmy Steins will be kicking into a bit of a breeze here.
Kick dropping short, predictably, into the square. Lovell. Was he pushed? No, says the umpire. Would have been a Tiggy Touchwood one indeed had it been paid. And it will be a bounce from umpire Ross Castles, about 15 metres out from goal. Melbourne needing one to steady, 47 to 51. Only 4 points in it in favour of the Demons. O'Dwyer up high. At the fall of the ball, Alvin. Oh, good mark taken out there on the flank by Murphy. From left half-back flank, Murphy to centre wing. Kernahan went for the knock-on, only succeeds in getting it as far as Alan Johnson. Attempted smothered by Gleeson, not successful. And 2 Melbourne players spoiled each other. Wilson went down, picked up by Bradley. He's burning in this quarter, and the mark is taken by Gleeson, left half-forward flank in front of Lovett. Target is Sartori. Meldon doesn't get the bounce he wanted. Yeats tangles with Blackwell. Ball scooped out to Johnson off the ground. Sartori in front of Hughes. Was it in the back? No, says the umpire. Johnson up the centre wing. Rhys Jones and Lyon. Might have been the vital move putting Rhys Jones onto him. He's kicked it out of bounds on the full. That'll please the Melbourne supporters. And the free kick will be taken left half-back flank by Yeats or Johnson. It's going to be Johnson.
There's Rhys Jones and Lyon having a bit of a say to each other again.
A couple thrown there.
But you'd like to see one land eventually, wouldn't you? Kick by Melbourne into the centre. Chance for Newport. He's taken the mark just wide of the centre square. Play on? No. Umpire says go back, Craig Bradley. And Stephen Newport will be given the chance to kick the Demons into attack. It's up towards centre half forward, dropping in short, and Spalding takes the mark in front of Derui. Derui being asked to come back on the mark. Spalding too far out to score, but he may kick the Demons to within scoring distance with this one. It's in short, leading out in front. Herman's there. It comes to the back. Dunlop. Now there's a chance for. Here's a chance for Herman. A flip out the back. Phoebe inside 50 metres. Shot around the corner to the front of the square. Marking contest. Shaun White's there again. Here's a chance for Lovell. Caught by Aitken and brought to the ground. Good play. The ball goes wide. Carlton defence under pressure. Down goes a Carlton player in Glascott from a Wilson tackle, and David Glascott will take the free kick in the back pocket.
They certainly have tightened up at the back, Carlton, just putting more pressure now on Melbourne.
Glascott's kick out wide. Rhys Jones is there. Lyon stays on the ground and gathers the football. Kicks it back to within 50 metres. The Demons are a chance. Greg Healy into an open goal, and he's put it through.
And needed that one.
Yes, as soon as you say something, Jamie Dunlop really did have his name written all over that ball, and to let the ball get behind him like that in what was a relatively easy mark was a crucial blow for Carlton. And obviously very pleased for Healy and Melbourne as we look at this again as he kicks the ball low and sneaks it by the post. But what happened prior to that was a drop mark from Dunlop, which really proved costly.
So back in the centre, big Jimmy Steins, he's revved up. So is O'Dwyer. The Melbourne players with plenty of adrenaline running.
10 points the difference after that goal to Greg Healy. Steins from the centre circle puts Melbourne back into attack again. Derui in front of his opposite number 5 Spalding, the 2 West Australians doing battle in that key post. Dersma. Murphy goes down. Picked up for Melbourne by Johnson. Phoebe takes the mark at right centre wing. Got one amidships. Stretch. Predictably going long again. Healy at the fall of the ball, marked in front of Kennedy. Read that well, dropped short into the breeze, and Healy decides to go off quickly. He kicked the last goal, he won't kick a goal with that one. Dwyer got his hands to it, flipped back into play. Lovell, a chance. Yes, no, close, over the top of the post. One behind. Very nearly it. 7-5 to 9-4 now, 11 points in it. Let's take a look at that again.
Replay. The ball bounced right on the line. That was it's a good decision.
Knocked down by Steins. Gleeson's there. Newport over the top. Chance for Melbourne again. Phoebe grab when not in possession. He did punch it. Alvin's kick. Back to Newport again. Tackle in the back against Herman. Claimed the Melbourne supporters. Picked up by Jackson. Short pass. Wilson looking for the free. Almost held it too long, Brian Wilson. Gleeson breaks clear. Newman's done well since he came on. Looks for Kernahan. Naily. Should be a goal coming up to Carlton with the South Australian speedster. Doesn't miss these too many times. But he's put that one the wrong side of the post. Well, not too many excuses for Mark Naily there. 58-48.
He's had 15 kicks and 2 handballs, Mark Naily.
Vital kick.
Yes.
So Danny Hughes to bring the ball back. 2.25 minutes left in the half. Phoebe up at the back of the pack. Steins. Wild hand pass. Glascott. Gleeson, who's done some dangerous work. Naily. Kernahan on his own.
He's been brilliant, hasn't he, Malcolm?
Oh, that's fantastic play.
And Steve Kernahan, who's kicked 2 goals, as you can see.
He's what terrific skills has Mark Naily, and he really did set up Stephen Kernahan and Carlton, and Kernahan for his 3rd goal for the quarter.
And coming in for his 10th kick. He's been the catalyst so far as Carlton's comeback is concerned. It's a goal. 3 goals to Kernahan, all kicked in the second term. The difference, again, 4 points.
Yes, 4 points margin. Might have thought that Carlton might have gone on with it once they got that roll going, but a very handy goal as we watch this great skills again from Mark Naily, and really Dersma was a long way away from him but really had no chance at all.
So good goal close to half time for Carlton. Just over a minute remaining in the second term, and it's 4 points in Melbourne's favour. Madden gets it down, Bradley gets a quick kick out, Herman can't get it away. Good desperate stuff there by Greg Healy to keep it in for Melbourne, and we'll have another bounce. 1 minute and 6 seconds left in the second quarter. So Melbourne will be striving hard to at least be in front on the scoreboard at half time. Madden and Steins. Comes down now, Healy. It gets to the back, a kick off the ground. Oh, nearly a possession to Naily. He dives on the top of Steins and looking for the free kick. Big Jimmy couldn't do much with it. And he drags himself up from the centre of VFL Park to contest this ruck work with Justin Madden. Goes to the ground now. Healy, a quick kick out. Now another one by Lyon. Out wide towards the half-forward area. Punch away by Kennedy. Comes to the ground. Clean bowls, Greg Healy. Gleeson held but he didn't have it. Play on. Advantage paid. Bradley up towards full forward. Can Carlton score with this 4A forward? At the back, Sartori gathers, shoots for goal and puts it through. Carlton in front.
And will be at half-time. Only 7 seconds to go. What a comeback by Carlton.
Certainly has been fantastic, the play of Carlton. They really were struggling early, but hasn't it been remarkable? As we watch this in replay here, Gleeson did all the hard work, was prepared to put his body in. Bradley with that familiar long kick to the front of the square, through all players' hands, bar and Sartori first to get back and just dribbled the ball over the line. Carlton in front for only the 2nd time in the match.
First time was after the opening goal. Carlton has kicked 8 goals, 3 in this quarter. A great comeback by the reigning champions, and after a quarter like that, who's to say they can't do it again? 9-6-60 at the change, 9-4-58.
Well, I just wonder whether Melbourne can keep it up. Carlton have had some pretty ordinary players, particularly in the defence area, Malcolm, in that first half.
Yes, it really was a matter of tiding and trying to get that right, and I think it was also the running players. Bradley really did come into his own in that second half of that quarter.
16 kicks he's had.
And Naily was busy, and also Gleeson, I think, has been the one that's broken it up with a bit of dash. Although he's only had 10 touches, 4 or 5 of them have been clear takes and set it up. Kernahan at centre half forward has also been a focal point in that quarter, and 3 goals. What more can you do at centre half forward?
Actually, I was a bit of a rap for Tommy Elvin. I think he's been brought up the ground out of a mainly defensive role in the set position.
And that smother was beautiful,
tremendous stuff, getting hard balls out of the centre.
Contract, which still has 2 years to run, reportedly being absolutely watertight.
Today's game is part of the Maya 1988 VFL Premiership Series.
In case you've just joined us, let's recap the score at VFL Park at half-time, and we've got a nail-biter. Carlton 9-6-60, leading by 2 points. Melbourne 9-4-58. An absolute crackerjack game. We'll go back there shortly, but first of all, we're going to prise open the vault for another look at footy flashbacks.
Footy flashbacks are proudly brought to you by NEC Computers, Communications and Home Entertainment.
In the preliminary final of 1973, Magpie supporters had a feeling of deja vu when their boys took on Richmond. Like the 1970 grand final against Carlton, the match would see Collingwood fall in a hole after leading clearly at half-time. The Tigers kicked 11 goals in the second half to get up and win by 7 points. The great Royce Hart was magnificent for Richmond. 12 months later, North Melbourne and Hawthorn slogged it out on a wet September afternoon, and no more than 10 points separated the teams all day. It was this tap from Barry Davis to Rob Peterson which made the difference, North advancing to the grand final by a margin of 4 points. Another time when the second last game of the season went right down to the wire was in 1976 in the clash between the Roos and the Blues. At three-quarter time, only 2 points separated the teams, Carlton having its nose in front. But North's Darryl Sutton came to the rescue. This was one of 2 goals in the dying minutes to give the Kangaroos a 1-point win. Collingwood took on Geelong in the 1980 preliminary final, and when David Clark goaled late in the final term, the Maggies looked to have thrown another one away. But 2 men still playing for Collingwood, Tony Shaw and Peter Dacos, combined to win the game for the Pies by 4 points. 1 year further on, again it was Collingwood versus Geelong, and again it was a thriller. And who should make the difference once more? Then, 20 years of age, Peter Dacos produced the sort of brilliant individual effort that we've become accustomed to, and in so doing gave the Magpies a grand final berth by 7 points. In 1985, Footscray looked likely to make its first grand final in 24 years when a great third quarter saw the Bulldogs hit the front over Hawthorn. But under the inspiring leadership of Lee Matthews playing his second last game, the Hawks came out on top by less than 2 kicks. And last year saw probably the greatest finish to any preliminary final. With only a few seconds remaining, Melbourne had a 4-point lead when Garry Buckenara was pushed by Rod Grinton, and the stage was set for one of football's most dramatic moments.
55 metres out. I don't think they... It's 15 metres! If he misses, Melbourne are in. There's the kick. It's a goal! It's a goal! Hawthorn have won with a kick after the siren. What a performance! A magnificent performance is by Hawthorn. Poor old Melbourne. You've got to, the hearts go out to the Melbourne Football Club. Stephen Spence can't believe it.
Footy flashbacks were proudly brought to you by NEC Computers, Communications and Home Entertainment.
Are we in for another finish like that? We might be. There's only 2 points in it. We'll come back for the third quarter in just a moment.
Oh, thanks, mate. I heard a game like this, so a few people supporting Carlton. Have you?
Melbourne.
Yeah. Thanks, Steve. Welcome back. Just under 70,000, we believe, here this afternoon for the 88 preliminary final. As we check the Nissan ground report now for the final time today, preliminary finalists 1988, Carlton and Melbourne doing battle here this quarter. The wind still favouring the main scoreboard ends. Melbourne will have the advantage of it in this term. In the first quarter, they kicked 6-3 with it. Carlton kicked 1-3 against it. It's 15 degrees. And of course still cloudy, but the surface is firm, standard of play not too bad. Carlton back onto the ground. We await the reappearance of Melbourne. So let's take the opportunity of going downstairs once again to Don Scott and Peter McKenna.
Well, down in the Melbourne room, John Northey wasn't very, very happy at all, and there was a different attitude amongst the Melbourne players as they walked up, different to that at quarter time. They haven't got any injuries. A couple of players are nursing sore spots, but they look as if they'll line up the way they finish. Peter, what about Carlton?
Well, you're lucky you got in the rooms. You're a ruck coach down there, and after my long career at Carlton, I thought I would have got in the rooms too, Don, but I can tell you one thing. I walked up the race with the Carlton players and officials, and they were pretty confident, and they were delighted with their second quarter, and I think that they'll come out firing in the second half, Carlton. Be very hard to beat.
And I can assure you from down on the boundary, it is very cold.
Oh, never mind, Don. Just rug up. You'll be quite okay. Don Scott and Peter McKenna on the boundary line. Go and sit in the van, Don, if you like. Leave Peter out there to do the work. Let's check the individual player stats, some of them anyway, to half-time, and one of the players that really did bring Carlton back into the game in that quarter, Mark Nayley, with a total of 16 kicks, Melbourne.
Yes, he's been a very good player. He, like a lot of Carlton players, their running players, just died out while Melbourne got some ascendancy towards the end of the first quarter and first bit of the second quarter, but a good player. Alan Johnson for Melbourne. Yeah, he's been very steady again in the back pocket. Picked up, 12 possessions. He really has been a very steady player.
And Craig Bradley, of course, always gets a lot of kicks.
Yes, he's had his stints up forward where he just seems to mind. Newport's going with him, but he was an important gatherer of the football in that second half of the second quarter.
Garry Lyon for Melbourne.
He was the one that caused Carlton more trouble than anyone, I believe, in their forward line early. Now with Derui coming onto the ground and onto him, he just tightened up a little bit onto him.
And Carlton's best player in that second quarter, Steve Kernahan.
Yes, and 3 valuable goals. I think that's the key to it. And he took marks in that quarter, 4 of them, a couple of real big ones that really lifted the Carlton side.
Shaun White has kicked 3 goals so far.
Yes, he didn't have a lot of the ball in the second quarter, obviously with the wind going against him, but he looked very lively in the first quarter, and one of the keys in this third quarter for Melbourne.
Okay, Melbourne back onto the field. Shaun White, when we kicked 3 goals, I sort of got the impression, though, gentlemen, in that quarter he was a little bit more quiet than he was in the opening term.
Yes, as we look at the breeze then, that's one of the reasons why Shaun White was quiet. The ball is just not travelling the distances up against it, but I'm sure he'll line up at full forward in this third quarter.
Malcolm, would you think that by playing this side of VFL Park against the breeze has any merit? I just noticed a couple of kicks that came from the Melbourne players, particularly in that second quarter, covered the 40 to 50 metres. Is it any advantage, you think?
Well, I thought in the first quarter that Melbourne did play the outer side, and the boys said at quarter time in their report from down what the coaches said, that Carlton had intended playing that other side a little bit, but I don't think there's any argument, Ian, with a breeze like this, that the more you can keep on the goal-to-goal line, the better off you are. Into the breeze, you've certainly got to run it, but you've also got to slow the opposition down. You know, just do it 50 metres at a time.
Newport off and Flintoff on for Melbourne. Fight in the middle before play even gets underway. Nothing unusual in this day and age. It's not an all-in yet. They ought to just bounce the ball, shouldn't they?
It's interesting, this.
I'll tell you what, if he gave a free kick to Bradley, then that'd quieten them down a bit.
Would it what?
I don't know if he can, because he hasn't called, the siren hasn't gone, and he hasn't called the game's in play. So how can you give a free kick when we're actually not in play?
Well, you can be reported.
Well, yes, you can be reported.
This is ridiculous.
This is...
Points decision, I think.
Brian Wilson.
Actually, I really... I mean, it staggers me. I know it does happen, but it really is a complete and utter waste of energy. I mean, you really should be at the football with the energy, not doing this before the game's underway.
Well, they're fired up, obviously.
Well, they need to be fired up. I think Melbourne, after Carlton outplayed them in that second term, 8-3 to 3-1. We begin the third quarter. Carlton leads by 2 points only, but they trailed by 30 points at quarter time. Madden knocks it down. Stretch puts the Demons into attack with the breeze, and according to Don Scott on the boundary line, it has freshened. Kennedy goes to the outer side. Nayley looking for kick number 17. Won't get it on this occasion. Will probably give away the free kick. Going to be a Melbourne free kick. Nobody wants to take it. Taken by David Flintoff, formerly of Hawthorn under-19s. Flintoff for right centre wing. First kick of the game. Madden went up one-handed. Tried to palm it down. Lyon might have conceded the free kick. Holding the ball or in the back. whatever. It's a Carlton ball. Kennedy to take it. Left half-back flank. And he's standing right. Ball standing up into the breeze. O'Dwyer takes the mark, gives it to Johnson, unaccountably fumbles. It wasn't a bad hand pass. And it'll be out of bounds. Left half forward flank for Carlton.
We started off again Ian, on that side of the ground too.
Yep.
O'Dwyer, Madden, Glascott, Bradley. Kick number 17 for him. Johnson stands his ground well. 12 kicks to Alan Johnson for Melbourne. Beautiful spiral punt kick with the breeze. Tremendous stuff. Knocked down by Dunlop. Chance for the Demons. Flintoff. Kick number 2. Well, that might be a goal. Very close to it. It bounced over the head of Aitken and rolled through for one behind. So the first score of the third quarter going to Melbourne, making the difference 1 point.
Didn't that ball have tremendous carry for a really low trajectory kick, and that extra 5 or 10 metres really did catch the Carlton defence napping.
It's the flag certainly indicating a strong breeze blowing to the end of which the Demons are kicking in this third quarter. Oh, into the back Lovell there of Bradley, and Bradley will take the free kick at half-back for Carlton. So a very, very important quarter for both teams. Still 23 minutes left. Bradley kicks the Blues out towards the wing. Kernahan kept off the football by Dersma, and Wight chips in and takes the mark for Melbourne. Shaun Wight, the jumping jack of the Melbourne Football Club, comes in and thumps the Demons back into attack, into forward pocket area. Rhys Jones, Spalding, it's punched away. Bradley's a chance to gain a possession inside the 50-metre line. He gets the hand pass back to Dunlop. Dunlop from a standing start, kicks it high out towards the wing. No mark taken. Nayley there. So is Herman. Healy over the top gives Shaun Wight another chance. And he goes with the torpedo punt kick off the side of his boot. And it goes over the boundary line, and a free kick will be taken for Carlton.
And how many times do you see that, Ian, too? You're just trying to get that extra distance and over-kicking and really throwing the action out of action. And that's really what happened.
So Dunlop kicks the Blues back out of scoring range. Kernahan at the back. Flintoff was a chance, but the ball goes over for another boundary throw-in. The play is about 85 metres around from the Melbourne goal, and all fans on their toes in this vital third quarter of the preliminary final. The winner gets the chance to play Hawthorn in the grand final next week. Justin Madden a big thump over the top, and we'll have another boundary throw-in.
Quite cool today in the outer. Beautiful days. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Not so Saturday. Madden to Bradley. Up to centre wing, Kernahan and Dersma having their own private war. Wilson. And the kick number 7, Healy. 3 possessions in this quarter so far. Don't know what Craig Bradley was trying to do there. Spalding. Off the hands of Lyon. Rhys Jones should be able to do the tidying up if he doesn't get a free kick. He's trying to do too much. Lovell. Herman to Bradley. Low trajectory kick to Gleeson. Looking for the free kick. He gets sat on. Now he paid a free kick against Gleeson for that in the first quarter. He's got the free kick for it here. So I guess we can't argue with that. Consistency is what players want. Gleeson will take the free for Carlton, left half-back flank. Madden on his own. No contest.
Read it well.
From left centre wing, Justin Madden tries for Kernahan. Off his hands, Dersma at the back. Blackwell gets the hand pass out pretty quickly. He's got it again, Blackwell. He's trying to do a Wayne Harms. Bradley has done it again, but this time just lands it inside the boundary line. Has he been practising that in?
Pretty good play, Peter, when you look at the way they brought that up.
Yeah, they're playing very disciplined football. I think that they've said, unless something's really on the other side, let's just keep it on this outer side along the boundary line all the way.
So it's O'Dwyer and Sartori. Johnson. Well, he has to hook that one around across the body. Might be out on the full. It is. Free kick to Carlton.
On the other hand, Peter, Melbourne have got to be disciplined now and try and switch play to this grandstand side of the ground.
Well, it's been over there since the quarter started, and Craig Bradley, he's gathered about 3 or 4 kicks so far in this quarter.
Wasting time too.
Short pass to Madden and marks. Spalding came across in front of him. Madden too tall.
That was terrifically general by Bradley. He knew exactly what he was doing. Madden knew exactly what he was doing. It was fantastic play from Carlton, really, to set this up.
Madden directly in front of goal.
Doesn't mind kicking goals either, Justin Madden.
Look, time, Carlton just wasting as much time as they can.
Well, waste a bit more. It's gone through for a behind.
It was a big build-up for a little result, wasn't it?
It wasn't. 61 to 59. No goals scored so far in the third quarter.
So Danny Hughes will kick the football in for Melbourne, and I would think advised to go straight down the centre. He's just slightly wide of the centre half-back area. A good mark taken, unopposed by Herman, and he plays on. Good football, but his kick's a sloppy one. In towards half-forward. Carlton players overrun it. Hughes tries the tap out. Gleeson's there. Johnson will kick it off the ground. Melbourne's there for the Blues, and he goes after it again. Gets it out to Blackwell with a good little chip kick. Blackwell up towards half-forward. Here's a chance for Gleeson. Oh, crashed to the ground, Adrian Gleeson. No free kick paid. Play on, says the umpire, and the tough Melbourne defence break clear. Kernahan.
All in blue behind play.
It's up towards half-forward now, and the umpire officiating at that end of the ground has decided that the Melbourne player will have to go back and take a set kick.
Dersma's been KO'd. Guess who the culprit is? Can you work it out from that?
Chance. Lions kick the goal. Lions kick the goal for Melbourne. And while play was going on with the dust up, Melbourne have gone down the other end of the ground and kicked the goal to put the Demons in front.
Yeah, second goal to Garry Lyon. Excitement of plenty.
I was watching the fight, and I'm glad you were watching the play in, because Jamie Dersma was seeing a few stars there, I'd reckon. Well, he's up, but I don't know how good he is. And Steve Kernahan.
I would suggest that 20 players down this end of the ground, would not know that a goal is scored or who in fact kicked it.
Very important now that both sides concentrate on football.
Now, Peter Cameron, the emergency umpire, came onto the ground, I believe has made a report. Now, how he reported and all that, I've got no idea. I can take a guess, but I didn't see the whole of the incident, so we won't comment on it. Back into the centre. Blackwell gets grabbed as soon as he takes the ball, and not entirely unexpectedly, a free kick being paid. So Healy to take the free kick. Game hotting up in more ways than one. Healy down to O'Dwyer. Has it knocked away from him. Wilson has to get rid of it. Fires out a long hand pass to Lovell. From a standing start, shoots and goals. So Melbourne answering the challenge in the best way possible. Now he's down as well. And players are coming from everywhere. This has got a bit out of hand, Malcolm.
Yes, it certainly has, Peter. And what's happened, of course, is that Melbourne have kicked 2 goals while this has all been going on. Now, I'd suggest that the free kick in the centre of the ground against Blackwell was pretty soft indeed, but it was really set up. Reece Jones having plenty of words to say, a lot of players having plenty of words to say.
And now Steve O'Dwyer being spoken to by Ross Castles. The goal has stood because the ball is coming back to the centre. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
Yeah, this has been some of the most confusing 3 or 4 minutes of football we've seen for the entire year.
Now Cameron has come onto the ground again.
Nothing happened there. I watched him closely. He was just out there to officiate.
Back into the centre, another goal to Melbourne amongst the fights. Lovell. Now he was the man that kicked the goal. He got flattened after he booted the ball. Alvin, good tackle. Wilson. The ball spills free for Derui, who tries to get clear. He got grabbed high, and it will be a free kick going which way? Carlton's way.
Back to Derui.
I don't think there's too much doubt about it, was there? Derui at left centre wing. Carlton attacking the left-hand flank. Silvani tries for the front position. Grindra got a couple of hands to the ball. Silvani reels out of the pack, and he doesn't stage. So, some very nasty incidents out there at the moment. Carlton too tall in the ruck through Madden. It's going to be a free kick to Dersma.
He appeared to grab him at the front of the jumper then.
He did, didn't he?
And this is what Melbourne wanted, was to switch play.
Johnson at half back goes long out towards left half forward flank. Garry Lyon on the run. Blackwell in pursuit at 50. Beautiful pass. The mark taken by Sean White.
Well, Carlton haven't woken up very quickly. Melbourne tried the dust-up tactics at the start of the quarter, and Carlton still concentrating on the man. Melbourne go on and play football, and the ball finishes with Sean White. He's 35 metres from goal. Distance to that end of the ground, not a problem. And a chance to kick his fourth. Punts for goal. It's a good-looking kick. 4 goals to Sean White.
And 3 goals in the last 3 or 4 minutes to Melbourne. After some niggly stuff and some terrible stuff, it would appear that reserve umpires have reported players, as we watch this in replay, and line with clever skills to White, and White with an excellent kick. And Melbourne really have taken the bullet between the teeth now, and Carlton just must start getting the ball out the centre of the ground and pushing it forward.
Big jump by Steins. Yeats has pushed off the football. A free kick to Melbourne. They'll get out of the centre again. It's been quite crucial getting the ball out of the centre here at VFL Park, and the Demons in the opening half of this third quarter have succeeded so far. Graeme Yeats obviously yelling obscenities at his opponent, kicks the ball 60 metres up towards full forward. It goes through all players. Derui at the back, Bradley and Elvin. Carlton out of trouble temporarily. Elvin's kick's not bad. It goes to Blackwell on centre wing. He's pushed in the back, and Blackwell will take the free kick for Carlton on the wing. Could have been a 50-metre penalty there. Greg Healy getting in the road. Blackwell goes on with play and kicks it high towards half forward. Kernahan can't mark, but the player in front can. Love it. It's not paid. It's up the centre wing area. Chance there for Murphy. His kick goes off the side of the boot, and it's over the line on the full. The free kick will be taken for Melbourne, and it looks like Brett Lovett. Very reliable defender is Brett Lovett, and he'll kick Melbourne back into attack. Drop punt kick goes up towards the 50-metre line. A marking contest. No one can grab it. Ball comes to ground. Glasgow in there, and Lyon was the Melbourne high flyer.
Steins limping out of that pack too.
And Robert Walls just looking perhaps a little concerned, because this is a very, very important 15 minutes. We've got 14 and a half left in the third term. Steins tries to get the tap out. Gleeson does it well, the little rover, and he runs away. He's caught with the football, handballs it back. Justin Madden gets a little kick out in towards the centre. Derui breaks clear and gets his kick away. Good play by the half-back. In towards the centre. Silvani gathers, gets the handball away to Blackwell. Again to Nailey. Nailey in the centre, running around in a circle. Short pass is effective and finds Gleeson on centre wing. He's looking to play on. Dersma, the Melbourne player. Kernahan looking for the pass, but Gleeson goes into it short. Murphy can't mark. And Melbourne defence under pressure. Can they get out of trouble? A kick off the ground. Now Lovett's under pressure on the 50-metre line for the Blues. A long hand pass looking for the safety of the boundary line, and it goes over in front of Stretch and Kennedy.
And it was great play too from Lovett. Then under tremendous pressure from Carlton, 3 players at him, and he handballed along the boundary line, not directly over it.
13 and a half minutes left in the quarter. Melbourne by 16 points. The Demons working the ball forward almost laboriously. Now at Lovell. Up the half forward. Chance for Sporting if he can gather. Out comes Dunlop. Good hip and shoulder by Sporting. Put him out of business. The ball's out of bounds. And a wrestle, another one. And somebody's going to get reported.
Well, that was real Sporting came in. I'm glad Dunlop turned at the right time then. That was pretty ordinary stuff.
And still it goes on. Dwyer cop one. In by Rowan Shores at the hand of the press. And he's got reported. That's one down.
Oh, what a crucial blow.
I can't say I'm really surprised. Not O'Dwyer, but generally speaking, somebody had to go sooner or later.
These teams have got to look forward. One of them's going to win and have to play Hawthorn next week.
Now, I don't know whether it was Derui reported or O'Dwyer. No, it must have been O'Dwyer because Derui got the free kick. Well, Steve O'Dwyer a bit unlucky. Very unlucky. Madden over the top. has knocked it out of bounds. There's about another 30 others could have had their numbers taken as well. Now let's put down the boxing gloves and pick up the footy. Steins, Lyon, Healy, good hand pass. Rhys Jones attempted smother just a little late over the head of O'Dwyer, and the goal square. Jackson at the back. What amazing judgment by the diminutive rover.
It really came about, Peter, from some real honest jumping from Shaun Wight. You'll see Shaun Wight just get up there and upset the whole pack, and Jackson in front in the right spot in front of Kennedy.
Jackson has kicked 2 goals for Melbourne so far. Coming in for kick number 10, 25 metres out. Crowd likes it, the goal umpire agrees. Jackson's third.
So Ricky Jackson had 10 kicks today, but he's kicked a goal in the first, second and third quarters. So when you look at his production up forward, that's really his value. As we look at this jump from Shaun Wight, he really did jump honestly at the football. It had more carry on it than the little fella in front behind the pack.
Jackson wobbling it off the boot for his third goal, and a valuable one for the Demons. Under 12 minutes remaining in the quarter, 61-83, so an advantage of 22 points for Melbourne. Kicking with the breeze, that's holding the ball according to the umpire. Be a Melbourne free kick. Lovell decides to play on. Bradley late on the scene, he's gone out wide looking for Jackson again. The ball thumped away by Kennedy. Back it comes to Steins. Herman can't break clear, almost tripped. Wilson piles in without too much science. It's going to be a bounce at the edge of the square.
So it's just slightly defensive side of the centre for Carlton. Melbourne in attack. Madden tries to get the tap out towards Bradley. He's pulled off the ball. Herman gets out the back somehow to Nayley. Nayley's left foot kick wide, gives Kernahan the run at it. Now he falls over at the crucial stage. Dursma's up to gathering the football. Hard up against the boundary line. It's still in play. Silvani off to Kernahan. The Blues in attack. Kernahan short pass is good. And Satori takes the mark. One wonders whether he's just a little too far out to score. He's going to have to kick at 45 metres.
Yeah. Gee, I think he's a real big chance to get this, Ian. Great kick from Kernahan.
Well, we'll soon see. Satori very deliberate. Good-looking kick. Coming back. Not far enough through from behind to Carlton. So Melbourne lead by 21 points, 83 plays, 62, and they've kicked 4 goals in this third term.
I guess you'd have to say any miss is a costly one. That would have been a valuable goal, though, conversely against the breeze. Look how far Hughes has kicked that. Spalding it was. Off the ground, Murphy. Meldrum a chance, likewise Lovett. And on the 50-metre line, Carlton half forward. It's going to be a bounce.
Yes, Carlton have only kicked 1 goal to the right-hand end against the breeze for the whole game so far.
Of course, the other end of the ground was the scoring end last week. Johnson from the middle of the pack almost kicked it out like a spiral punt. Clean bowls the whole lot of them, except Rhys Jones. Measures the pass off to Gleeson, who marks in front of Jamie Dursma. He's gone for another pass. Kernahan leading out and marks in front of Johnson. The angle more acute. Still 55 out, slewed off the side of the boot. Murphy hasn't got a hope of marking that one. Healy off to Hughes. Shocking kick, very low trajectory. Gets the desired result distance-wise. In front, Dunlop. Oh, heavy collision there. Down went Lovett. Alvin piles on top of his opponent, and that's holding the ball, according to the umpire. Rosscastle pretty severe on that. Tommy Alvin at centre field to take the free.
Square up for Justin Maddens, I would have thought. Elvin's kick now puts Carlton up towards centre half forward, and a good mark taken by Grinter, standing his ground at half back for the Demons. He plays on Rodney Grinter and kicks it towards half forward. Wilson's made good position and takes the mark in front of Herman. He tries to get the hand pass away. Is it play on? Yes, it is. And Herman goes after Wilson. Wilson's a very clever footballer though, and he gets around, and the short pass is effective, finds Lyon. So Melbourne another chance to go to within goal scoring distance through Garry Lyon. He tries the big torpedo. It's a mammoth kick. It's into the square. It's home. What a goal! Magnificent kick by Garry Lyon.
Oh, goal of the day.
3 goals to Garry Lyon, and I think you'll remember that one for a long, long time to come. Oh, what a magnificent kick that was, and it really did actually clear the goal line, although very low. And some more good shepherding in the goal square as he goes back for the torpedo inside the square. Do you mind? That has gone 80 metres to the centimetre.
Reminiscent of one M. Blight's kick at Princes Park a few years ago.
Mark the spot. I think that will be just about as long as Jeff Ferring's kick at Moorabbin about 10 years ago. 62 to 89. Garry Lyon's third goal has gone 80 metres plus at VFL Park. And what a valuable one that could be. Glascott trying to break clear. Ball finally hoofed out of the pack up towards Melbourne's half-forward line again. Jackson a palm on. Receiving it as Kennedy. Intended for Alvin, but it went astray. Wilson makes some space, or indeed tries to. Back to Spalding. Good tackle to Rui. It spills to Jackson. The hand pass into the goal square. O'Dwyer goal. O'Dwyer's first. Melbourne are hot. They lead by 33 points again.
Yes, and Kennedy really did guess where his teammate was. There obviously wasn't a lot of talking. And the loose ball came out to Wilson. As we look at this, you see the three Carlton players attacking Wilson when really they should have only been one. And then a series of handballs sets up Steve O'Dwyer in the goals. So they really have reacted to some of the rough stuff, I guess you could call it. And they've done it the right way on the scoreboard.
Concentrated on the football, Malcolm. Certainly shown dividends, paid dividends. So 8 minutes remaining. Steins is the football, he can't break clear, and we'll have another bounce right in the centre of VFL Park.
We pose the question, can Carlton pick back a 5-goal deficit twice in one day?
Well, it's the best part of 6 goals. It's 33 points at the moment, and if it's still 8 minutes left, so plenty of time for Melbourne to get clear again. Phoebe, Glascott on Lovell. Lovell kicked off the ground by Healy. Blackwell, he's still got it. He's been interfered with by Yeats as the umpire, and Blackwell takes the free kick. He plays on, looking for Meldrum at half forward. A great punch away by Lovett, and frustrating tactics by the Demon defence has been tremendous all day long. Players like Dersma, Lovett, Stretch and Johnson, they've done a wonderful job for Melbourne. Boundary throw in centre wing member side. Madden on the scene a little late. Demons gather, Flintoff. Quick kick, gathers 40 metres for his side and goes over for another boundary throw in just in front of Derui and Spalding. So if Melbourne can get another 2 goals, I would think it would be a very formidable task for Carlton in the last term. Just under 7 minutes left. Steins gets to the front. The punch really is ineffective by the ruckman, and we'll have another boundary throw in. So with Stephen Silvani now just lingering across the half-back line as a loose player, the Blues are obviously concerned. It comes to the back, Derui's kick, Wilson gathers, he tries to run away from Alvin, he gets the hand pass away, the kick by Yeats to half forward, and a good mark taken by Derui, who's done pretty well since he's come off the interchange bench, looking for someone to kick to. It's up in the Kernahan direction with Dersma. Dersma keeps the big man off the football. He could have nearly been free kick, Jamie Dersma, but the umpire decides to bounce. Centre wing, member side, he's a little disappointed that he didn't get one, but he's very, very disciplined. Who's my man? It's Stephen Kernahan, and off he goes. The bounce of the football. Nailey pushes his opponent in the back. Lovell goes on with football for Melbourne. Into the pocket, it's a little too high. Kennedy can't mark. Jackson, great play. Wayne Harms, a-la. Nailey there, it's still in play with Lyon. Kennedy there, and the ball will be bounced right up against the boundary line about 60 metres around from the Melbourne goal.
I thought that was out of bounds.
Yes, and as the rain starts to tumble down at Football Park, interesting move this.
Football Park? VFL Park.
VFL Park.
We're in Adelaide now. Yes, that's going to help Melbourne, isn't it? At least one would think. On the greasy conditions, sort of shades of last Saturday. 4 Saturdays in a row in Melbourne we've had rain. Interstate people would say, what's new? Many Melbourne people would say the same. Picked up by Rhys Jones. Looks for Blackwell. Came off the hands or part of the body of Graeme Yeats. And it'll be thrown in left half forward flank for Melbourne. Kicking to the main scoreboard end. Latter stages third term. We've got 5 minutes to go. It's been a good quarter for the Demons. Wilson takes the hand pass from Flintoff. Knocked down by Dunlop. Jackson. Bad hand pass intended for Flintoff. He made good to get that. Inside 50 and shoots. It's coming around. It's not a bad kick. It's a goal. He's got it. Well, Flintoff went the wrong way to take Jackson's hand pass, but he went back and got it. And what a telling goal that could be.
Yes, indeed. They've really swamped them. They've done it in patches. As we look at this in replay, Jackson, handball out. Kennedy can't gather, and Flintoff on the ground in this quarter kicked very truly. Carlton really under pressure now, and that rain is not going to help their cause at all.
Flintoff's first goal. 62 now to 101 at VFL Park. It's been a great quarter for the Demons. Bradley. Sartori have got a free kick anyway. Had he not taken the mark, he's directly in front of goal.
Actually, they've had a few chances. Justin Madden kicked one from here, and Peter Sartori now with his second chance at goal. So perhaps the chances that they've had to this end of the ground have been quite critical. The time clock just over 4 minutes left. Sartori's kick, nice looking drop punt. It's a goal, and a badly needed one for Carlton. Sartori kicks his third goal, and Carlton just get a little closer, but the Demons have got a pretty handy lead, 33 points, close to three-quarter time, and with the opportunity to go into a grand final, I would think that they would be pretty hard to come get pegged back, Melton.
You should say so. If we look at that kick, Silvani's actually gone to centre half back on the Sporting, and Derui is now playing at half forward with Grinter picking him up.
Back in the centre, good bounce, just favours Madden, but over the top there's a chance now for Gleeson. He just gets clear of Lovell. Madden can't get the ball away. Kick by Johnson towards half forward. Kennedy gathered by Gleeson out wide. He's got a player loose, Reece Jones, but he gathered the football. It's just a little bit too far for him. Now he's caught with the ball. He gets the hand pass away to Blackwell. Glascott looking a little troubled as David Glascott, and his kick goes close to the line as Reece Jones can't keep it in, and will have a boundary throw in. It's slightly forward of the centre wing, favouring the Demons, with just over 3 minutes left in the third term. The fans all running for cover as the rain has started to fall at VFL Park. At the back, chance for Lyon. Clever play. It bounces off his teammate's head. The kick by Gleeson up towards half forward. Meldrum, good gather.
Had a bound with it, yes it is now, but it's a free kick in the meantime is being played. It's going Carlton's way, and Meldrum will take it at right centre wing. Almost a mark to Herman, knock on by Johnson. Flintoff. Dersma, beautiful tap out towards the boundary line, and the ball has indeed been taken over by Herman. Once again for a boundary throw in. 2.5 minutes left in this term. That rain still coming down. Persistent, although not heavy. O'Dwyer gets it from Madden, hits it straight to Healy, who, as you can see, more than well covered. And it will be a bounce on centre wing. Milhana watches on. Was taken from the field earlier and replaced, I think, from memory by Derui. Up goes Madden. O'Dwyer a little bit too tall. Picked up by Flintoff. The target is Wilson. Alvin wearing him pretty closely. Silvani tries to get it away from Wight. Succeeds in doing that. Gets around Spalding. Intended for Gleeson. Lovell over the top. A juggle. Not paid. A scramble. Booted away for Carlton by Bradley. Up it comes to Murphy. Well tackled by Stretch. The ball spills free. Still at midfield. Kernahan. Derui. Healy. Derui in pursuit now. Healy did well to get his kick. Silvani, though, takes a safe mark in front of Spalding and decides to play on. Time on in the third quarter. Carlton in trouble. The two number 8s. Yeats wins out from Blackwell. Hugs the boundary line with the kick. Underneath it is Kennedy and Aitken for Carlton. Wight gets there first, but it beats him over the line. And the throw-in will take place about 45 metres out, right half forward flank for Melbourne, with just over a minute to go in the quarter.
And the ball getting slipperier, making Carlton's job just so much harder.
Yes, I think Melbourne will be packing the back line in the last quarter. Steins tries to get the ball out for his team. A tap on, it comes to the back. Here's a chance for Johnson. There's a free kick. No, play on. What will the umpire do now? He must ball it up. Alan Johnson had no idea of what had happened. And of course the umpire now will bounce. The play is only 15 or 17 metres out, directly in front of the Melbourne goal, with just seconds remaining in the third term. Can the Demons get a goal? They lead by 33 points. The bounce favours Steins. The Blues get the ball out close to the line. Lyon falls over at a crucial stage. So does Spalding. Gleeson Carlton players looking very tired. That game was very difficult last week in the wet. Steins goes for goal. A long kick by Steins. Will it be rushed through? No. Great mark taken by Dunlop right on the goal line, and that could be the last chance of the third term. He hand pass it off to Aitken. Aitken's short kick is good, and Herman takes the mark. The Blues are out of trouble. Bradley kicks it up towards the wing. Mark taken there by Flintoff as the siren sounds to end the third quarter. A great third quarter for Melbourne, and they go in to the three-quarter time break with a 33-point advantage. Melbourne 16-5-101, Carlton 10-8-68.
They kicked 7-1 that quarter. 7-1 to 1-2. Is that right?
Yes.
1-2. Well, because Sartori could have kicked that other one. That was a bad miss, wasn't it? So what's that? 60
80-metre goals, don't they?
Oh, wasn't that a ripper goal? I'll have to measure that.
Well, there's the 50-metre line. He was right inside, so he's kicked from the line. It's got to be probably 75.
50.
Oh, it's probably
20, 70. He got 75 metres, wouldn't it? 75 metres easy. You got to get that spot measured, Don. Get a look at that kick and measure it from goal. That 50 line. See how long it went. You could. No, but you could get the tape, look at it, and measure it roughly, couldn't you, from where he was? Oh, I didn't mean now. No, I mean during the week. It'd be just interesting to see how long that went. I remember that kick at Jeff Fairings. I don't think you were doing it then, but he booted it from the centre circle, and it was a goal at Moorabbin. Wasn't that an amazing kick, that one? I tell you what, that'd be just about as far, because this is a bigger ground, isn't it?
Just my throat's going. Football park. Gee, what a good day.
Well, it's going to get down to a close finish, isn't it? Just hang on, I think.
Well, they're going to come back from 5 and a half goals down twice in one day. It's pretty tough.
Yeah, well, it's wet too.
Yeah, that might help.
Slippery, they're tired. They look at the slip. I reckon you carry the legacy of last week's cup, don't you?
You're right what they said. They should have kicked 3 goals into the Breeze, and they've only kicked 1.
Yeah. Chances.
See, they've only kicked 2 for the whole day. At that end, Melbourne have already kicked 3.
Got to do really stop Melbourne from kicking a goal.
Yes.
As soon as they kick one, they've got to kick that extra one. That's 6. They're going to kick 6 now in a quarter.
Yeah.
Is that the report?
They should only be 8 late. I think it was actually. We did it. Yeah, another 85. Flammy Ocean's about 290. Who ran the places, you know? Did it replace them?
What have we got here? He's quick for this one.
This was a black golf.
Oh, right, okay.
And he's hoping that it could be done in 40 minutes.
Yeah, Steve, a pretty tall order, really. Can they come back? Lyon has 3 for Melbourne, Wight 4 and Jackson 3 for Carlton, Kernahan 3 and Sartori 3. 33 points the difference at three-quarter time. Carlton has the win. Malcolm Blight, can they come back?
Yes, it certainly is a big question. They've played enough good football today to say that they did in that second quarter. As we look at this little bit of a dust-up early, and there's O'Dwyer really coming in to tackle fairly high on Derui, and that was what the report was all about.
In it, was there?
No, I think that Derui looked as though he slipped at the time O'Dwyer went to tackle him.
Steve O'Dwyer would be pretty unlucky, wouldn't he?
And I don't think Steve O'Dwyer was having much of a go at the footy either.
But just getting back, can they kick 6 goals? What they've got to do, there's Lovell and there's Derui. he really didn't get him high or anything, did he? Just kept on going with his body and took him out with his body. But gee, what an interesting quarter this is going to be, and it's just there was a lot of this in that third quarter, wasn't there? I suppose if you call them highlights, and that's what happened at the other end of the ground when that was all going on. Lyon was able to soccer one off the ground. Healy has had his moments. He's cleared some good ones. Wilson's been reasonably quiet, but just occasionally can set something up like that there. And there's that Derui one coming in at Lovell. But a tall order for Carlton. They are a good side. They have done it. And here's this kick. 75, 76 metres. Perhaps not quite 80.
Amazing kick, that one of the longest I've seen here at VFL Park. In the third quarter, Melbourne had 46 kicks to Carlton's 52. The marks were fairly even. The frees 4 in favour of Carlton, the handballs 4 in favour of Melbourne, the hitouts again fairly even. 9 shots at goal to 3, and the attendance this afternoon 68,516. Most of them under the brollies by now. Let's go downstairs to Don Scott and Peter McKenna.
Well, in the Melbourne camp, it was a real emotional stuff. John Northey pointing out they've got a man to mind in this last quarter, and they've got to show a little bit of heart.
Robert Walls was very, very mild-mannered as compared to quarter time, and Robert just said one thing: no defensive play at all attack, take a punt and kick long.
Back to you, boys.
Well, they're not going to win it by being defensive, are they? I suppose that's a pretty fair comment.
No, they have to have a go. But watching there, the Carlton players who had broken up before the Melbourne players, that rain is coming down fairly steadily, and it's a big order to outscore in the last quarter of a preliminary final by 6 goals.
Yes, and Silvani, who's been up and down the ground again, is back at half forward and been picked up by Grinter. So they really have done that. They've said, well, let's go for it. And that's the only way you can play it now.
Because though we've got the lights on too.
Final quarter of the 1988 preliminary final. Melbourne leads by 33 points. They led by 30 at quarter time though, and trailed by 2 at half time after Carlton had the win. O'Dwyer, who had his number taken into the third quarter, down to Glascott. Chance for Melbourne, driven up by Flintoff to half forward. Good knock away by Dunlop. Jackson at the fall of the ball. Flips it over the top of Blackwell. Back it comes to the useful Healy. Healy's kick to half forward, tries to find Meldrum in the Roaders stretch. Meldrum again. Almost grabbed his opponent too high. Good hip and shoulder from stretch, put his opponent out of business, and it will be bounced at the edge of the square. Rain started falling in the third quarter. Robbie Flower and Todd Viney looking on. O'Dwyer and Madden have had a great duel all day. Honours fairly even. I guess they've nullified each other to a certain extent. Lions kick up towards midfield. The mark is taken by David Rees-Jones. Down to half forward. O'Dwyer got one hand down to it. Opportunity for Silvani. Tries to flip the ball out in front. Socked away by Grinter, his opponent at the moment. Up to midfield. Kennedy picks it up for Carlton. Hooks it back to half forward. Silvani with a very useful knock on. Now the chances for Meldrum, if he can gather the slippery ball. New ball being used at the start of each quarter. Silvani grabbed. Did he have it? Love it. Looks for a long hand pass. Stretch knocks it down, but it's to Gleeson. Silvani again. Useful so far. Out to Gleeson once more. Close to the boundary line. Almost dragged over it. Now Johnson hooks it again across his body. 2 Carlton players are there. Madden takes the mark.
And Madden takes the ball. He's outside the 50-metre line. So Carlton will be looking for some sort of momentum. A big goal early in the quarter they need. The kick is in short. The mark's been taken for Carlton by Gleeson.
Yes, and that's what's going to happen in this quarter. The ball going for a torpedo looked like Madden and fell short. As the ball falls short, slippery ball. Players have got to make good contact with it, and a very important kick.
Well, we saw Lyon kick one from here in the earlier in the game, so Gleeson's a chance. Kicks for goal and puts it through. Good kick, and Carlton gain a bit of momentum.
And first goal, much needed one to Carlton. And you're just wondering what's going through the Melbourne players' minds. They've been in this situation before with Hawthorn last year in the preliminary final, and now with Carlton having this breeze, although much stronger conditions. As we watch again, that kick falls short, and Gleeson with that excellent shot from behind the goals, kicked very truly indeed.
So back in the centre, Adrian Gleeson, 1 goal, and these centre bounces very important to both sides.
22 and a half minutes left in the quarter. Melbourne, of course, have a much bigger lead at this stage than they did last year against Hawthorn. David Rees-Jones marks in front of Spalding, gets a directive to play on by the umpire. Blackwell marks right centre wing, relays it to Kennedy. He was looking down there for Kernahan. Lyon, we get it over the boundary line. Hand pass comes out to Flintoff from Healy, who gets it back again, kicks into the man. Healy. Herman, intended for such, and Grinter stands in the road.
Didn't he stand in the road too? Came through.
What Grinter plays it. Throw in, about 75 metres around. O'Dwyer and Madden, who gets boot to ball. Who's it going to favour? Well, Sartori flipped it on. There was no one there though for Carlton. And just knocked through by Grinter in front of Gleeson, who almost got his second goal for the quarter. 75 to 101. He cold on the bench this afternoon. Danny Hughes favouring the member stand side. I think a sensible tactic, going with the wind or against the breeze. Now Murphy robes it beautifully. Here's Carlton second for the quarter.
Yes, Fraser Murphy, second goal, kicked one in the second and one now in the last quarter. That really was a very slippery ball to mark, and he did rove it very well.
Melbourne need to score in this quarter, Malcolm.
Yes, I don't think they can win the game of football unless they score. O'Dwyer almost took the mark, and Murphy on the run kicked very truly.
And it's interesting that the goals have been kicked by the two Rovers.
Yes, very important. And the rain pouring down. Rain absolutely pouring down at VFL Park, so we've got just over 21 minutes left. Carlton have got the ball out of the centre. They do nearly again through Nayley. Phoebe grabbed around the neck. Poor play by the captain of Carlton, Stephen Kernahan, and Phoebe will take the free kick for Melbourne. Defensive side of centre, kicks it up towards centre half forward for Melbourne. The ball hangs in the breeze. There's a mark, Spalding. Fair mark, and he plays allowed to play on. He kicks it up towards full forward, a marking contest. Here's a chance now for Melbourne. The ball comes free. Kick out by Kennedy. There's no one here except the Melbourne player Williams, who's just come on from the bench. Williams kick up towards full forward, out in front. No mark taken. Could have been taken by Aitken. It's in the goal square. A quick kick off the ground could be advantageous, but the Carlton defenders man up. And O'Dwyer is the Melbourne player off the ground to allow Williams to come on, and it nearly resulted favourably for the Demons. We've got a bounce just outside the Melbourne goal line. There's the time clock. Steins gets it out. Williams, Glascott, Herman. Back it goes now to Rees-Jones, and Rees-Jones left foot kick. Goes out towards the wing. Dersman, great mark. And Kernahan, the frustration should be showing. 50 metres, and that's bad football.
Yes, I don't think it was quite as bad as that. But there was probably no need for it, was the truth of the matter.
Wait till you see what he kicks, and then you'll tell whether it's bad or not. If he kicks a goal...
Well, he's got to be a big chance. Tell you what, that's not a very long 50 metres either, just by the way.
Well, Dersman now is within 25 metres of goal. A very crucial kick for the centre half back. Concentrating hard. Kicks just off the side, hit the post. Well, the Demon fans will cry blood if they can't get up and win this match.
Well, I think he only got about 30 of his 50 metres.
21 points they lead by. Darui kicks it in, straight up the centre.
It's a way to play it for Carlton. Madden takes the rebound. Nayley tried to soccer it without success. Sockered away by Aitken. Lyon, Phoebe. Oh, a good flip out the back, stretch. Straight down the ground, knocked away by Kennedy. Two Melbourne players are there. Spalding, and he upset his apple cart, goes long into the goal square. Williams, handy if he can get this one. Darui, good defence. Jackson off the ground, goals! Oh, real soccer stuff. That's his fourth goal. Very similar to one he kicked early in the game.
And hasn't that changed the complexion of the game up forward? With David Williams going to full forward, the smaller man, more agile. O'Dwyer would be disappointed at going off. He's had a pretty good battle with Madden. but in these slippery conditions, Spalding's done very well indeed to get that ball forward. Just that agility there, was able to set it up. Jarui went for the boundary line, only to find Jackson by himself and 4 goals, 1 in each quarter.
Great goal to Ricky Jackson. 81 now to 108. Melbourne gets some breathing space. Steins up to half forward. Wight goes through like a steam train. The ball rebounds out towards right half forward and Healy. Williams again. Great move by Northey, bringing him on. Gets the hand pass out again. It's Healy once more. Shocking kick out of bounds on the full. Free kick to Carlton. Back pocket left.
In the back pocket, Mick Kennedy. There's John Northey. He's getting a little excited. He's on his feet. Kennedy's got a loose player on the outer half-back flank, and it's Rhys Jones. He takes the mark and runs away from Spalding. Spalding very tired. Rhys Jones up towards the centre of the ground. No mark taken. Chance for Blackwell. The ball eludes him. A punch on by the Melbourne defence. Rhys Jones has a chance. He's pushed off the ball. Blackwell. The ball very slippery. All players finding it hard to handle. And the ball is kept in for the Demons. It's in their attacking half, and some fingernails being shortened there by Wes Lofts as Blackwell picks himself up. Time ticking away, just 18 minutes remaining. The Demons, a real chance to go into their first grand final since 1964 against the Hawks next week.
Long time ago, 24 years. Umpire standing there like a traffic policeman waiting for the bounce. Madden finally wins it. Alvin, a fresh air shot. Steins. Flintoff's kick is a short one. Thumped away by Dunlop. He'll be able to follow this up, but doesn't get a favourable bounce. It allows Spalding to run free, not for very long. Smothered well by Dunlop. Back it comes to Kennedy. Kennedy's kick is short. Still bounces inside 50 for Carlton. Glascott farms out the hand pass. The recipient is Gleeson. And Gleeson downfield. Long kick intended for Kernahan. The captain doesn't let him down. Lovett's tackle a little bit late. Silvani gets offloaded with a good hip and shoulder. Grinder goes for the boundary line, or Lovett, and puts it over the line. Now both of those players are hurt. Garry Lyon holding his head. Steve Silvani looking pretty groggy. Let's take a look at that again.
It's pretty good stuff, actually. Silvani really has had some nasty bumps this year. And him and Garry Lyon, it was a terrific honest contest.
Meldrum over the head of Lyon. Now here's Silvani. He seems to have recovered okay. Sartori gets around and scores a point. Goodness me, how did he miss that?
Well, I'd like to go on record as saying that the difference between the two teams is Melbourne have kicked the crucial goals and Carlton have missed them.
Yes, he's kicked 3 goals, 3, and I would suggest the 3 goals he's missed have been almost gimmies, if there's such a thing in football.
Well, that'd be close to a gimme, wouldn't it? Only a few metres out. Now good mark to Madden in front of Steins, but he has to kick from outside 50. Justin Madden for kick number 11. No, he's gone for the hand pass to Bradley. Spiral punt kick gets the distance. The accuracy isn't there. A good attempt to mark by Sartori. One behind. Bottom line for Carlton, 12-11 to 17-6. Great kicking under these conditions. 25 points the difference. Hannah warming up.
Hughes kicks into the outer side looking for Lovett. He can't mark. Meldrum's there and he falls over at a critical stage. The kick off the ground goes into the centre. Lyon gathers. He's caught with the football. Rhys Jones, the tackler, comes to the back. Bradley gets the hand pass out to Gleeson. Gleeson's quick kick into the forward pocket. No mark taken. Hughes pressured by Sartori. Hughes' kick is good and it gains about 30 metres for his team and goes out of bounds at half-back for Melbourne. About 55 to 60 metres around. It's a little further away. It's 70 metres around from the Carlton goal. Madden doing the ruck work. Out the back. Bradley again. Goes right through all players. Chance for Herman. Good gather. Flip out the back. Sartori falls over. Stretch. Kick off the ground is effective.
Odds to nothing there for Steve Stretch, who's prepared to concede a behind or whatever. He was able to get it out on the member stand pocket. Kernahan jockeying for the front position down to Phoebe or Glascott. Either of those players picks it up cleanly. David Glascott the bottom of the stack, and so a bounce still inside the 50-metre line. Carlton's left forward pocket. Bounced by Ross Castle's fairly high, thumped away by Jim Steins. Melbourne gaining only metres and also time.
Played well, Steins and O'Dwyer.
14.5 minutes left in the game to decide who will take spot number 2 against Hawthorn next Saturday in the grand final. Down goes Johnson, out goes the ball, and another throw in almost in the identical spot, still around about 50 metres from goal.
So you tend to say that Melbourne have really bottled this game up, but you just know that Carlton will have one last dip at it, and they need to get goals from it though.
Silvani from Madden, Silvani to Madden. Not Flintoff, but Lovett. And Danny Hughes sees the ball safely over the boundary line, so Carlton working it forward. It's right next to the behind post.
Gee, they need 3 quick goals if they're going to have a chance. Look at that time clock.
Steins at the back. Ball becoming very, very slippery with this persistent rain. Booted out past Alvin. Madden's there. Good tackle, Garry Lyon. The ball spills free for him. In comes Bradley. Thumped away from Alvin. It's out of bounds. We'll see a throw in about 60 metres from the Carlton goal.
Millum Hannah on the boundary line as David Glascott is about to be replaced. And precious time ticking away. Madden pulled off the ball. The quick kick comes up towards the wing. It's punched away there by Dunlop. Crash to the ground. Kick off the ground again. Chance now for Herman. He thumps the ball into the forward area. Goes through Danny Hughes. Kernahan's a chance. He breaks the tackle. Snapshot is great. It's nearly a goal. It's home.
Tremendous goal. Kicked by Steve Kernahan, his 4th.
Yes, and just what the doctor ordered for Carlton. They really have struggled in that forward pocket for some time, and with the ball getting free and the ball very slippery indeed. As we watch this in replay, Hughes in front as he's been most of the day. Kernahan missed with a tackle by Hughes, and his snapshot just there, Grinter unable to get hold of it. So is that the catalyst? Once again, the captain, Stephen Kernahan.
19 points the difference now after Kernahan's 4th goal. It's still a ball game. Phoebe attempts to soccer it forward for Melbourne. Rhys Jones shows him how it's done. Past Kernahan on this occasion. Naily dispossessed. Murphy. Here's another one coming up for Carlton. Maybe to Kernahan as well. Gets it out to Steve Silvani. In pursuit is Stephen Stretch. Silvani beautifully done to shoot at goal with his right foot.
Geez, that was shocking, isn't it?
One behind. And notice he's bleeding from the left eye too. So he's gone a couple of rounds with Jeff Fennick. Hughes. Member stand flank again. Hannah, who's just come on to replace Glascott, takes the mark. And Hannah won't waste any time. He'll be very keen to get warm and get Carlton moving. Not a great kick. Direction-wise, out of bounds.
No, didn't put a lot of pressure on the defence at all.
Poor kick, wasn't it?
Phoebe coming off will be perhaps for Steve Newport. It's very crowded in Carlton's left forward pocket. Down it comes to Gleeson. Naily caught pretty quickly. Flipped out the back to Herman. That's out of bounds on the full.
He went the wrong way then, really.
And it will be taken by Flintoff. No, it won't take that back. It will be Grinter. Grinter's kick dropping short, predictably. Madden with a big fist to Rhys Jones. Sartori the target. Very hard to mark at the moment. Meldrum just about throws it out. Out it comes to Meldrum again after Herman. Then he had his head taken off, and that could be a goal. Could be, but it's a behind. 13-13, so 26 effective scoring shots.
They need 3 goals, Peter.
3 goals. Can they get them? 11 and a quarter minutes remaining. Well, plenty of time if they're good enough, Malcolm.
Yes, they indeed. And 3 goals, 5 they've kicked, and a couple of those just go on the other side of the post. I think this crowd's waiting for something to happen here.
They certainly are. The quietness is really unbelievable. Kick in by Hughes. The mark's been taken by Stretch, but he's given a kick away. Herman, he dives on it, goes for goal. Ian Herman. The torpedoes off the side of the boot. Silvani in the pocket, can't quite gather it. And it's thumped over. No, it's not thumped over the line. Silvani goes after it again. So does Greg Healy. And the captain, the Melbourne captain, dives after it and gets the ball over the line for a boundary throw in.
Yeah, perfect example then, Herman. All he had to do was put pressure on the goal scorer again. Drop punt would have been the kick. Slip, hard to do torpedoes in these conditions.
Chance for Gleeson. Grinter puts his body in. Good play, out wide. It's a chance for Stretch. Stretch just inside the 50-metre line. Kicks it out towards the wing. It comes to the back. Dunlop on his favoured foot. Goes for the hand pass to Elvin. He drops it a sitter, and he's got time enough to steady. Left foot kick towards half forward. Kernahan can't mark. It comes to the front. Kick off the ground favours Yeats. Now's a chance for Grinter. He's got Johnson in support, and the Demons are out of trouble because Johnson's kick now comes up towards the wing. No mark taken. Kennedy's there under pressure. Kick off the ground by Wilson. Good play. Jackson into the open. Williams. He'll go into an open goal. David Williams. Put down your glasses. He doesn't. He kicks it right across the face and out of bounds for a throw in 3 or 4 metres around from the behind post.
Very close to out on the full, that one. Very close.
10 minutes remaining in the match.
So Carlton free kick. No, it was out of bounds. That's why I'm talking myself into something that didn't happen. It was so close. Oh, he's holding the ball against Carlton.
Can you believe that?
Well, both two Carlton players there. It was just the indecision that caused that. One player should have nominated himself for.
Let's take a look at it again.
There it is there, and Bradley overrunning it.
Rhys Jones on the top of it. That's a bit stiff, isn't it?
Give decisions like that in a preliminary final where the position is really crucial. Whoever loses the game's out of it. No, I don't believe it.
Ricky Jackson for goal number 5. 35 metres out. And has missed it, I fancy, judging by his reaction. No, he's got it. Oh, Zarui going crook. And so is Kennedy. They can't believe it. I must admit I agree with them. 91 to 114. What an interesting goal that was. I don't know whether we can see it from behind the goals, but you'll find that that will be very close.
Here's the ball coming in. Oh, it's hit the post.
Did hit the post.
Have a look at Jackson's reaction.
Hit the top of it. Well, and that replay looked as though it shaved the post, but it has been given as a goal, so things falling Melbourne's way. Newport picks up, drives the Demons forward, once again up the half forward, and the mark is taken by Aitken.
Aitken's kick is very, very wide, bouncing towards the boundary line. They won't be able to keep it in, and another boundary throw-in will take place. Well, that goal, I would say, is put paid to Carlton's chances of playing in the grand final.
Yeah, here it is.
And you'll see the ball duck back towards the middle of the camera. There it is there. Just shave the post.
On centre wing, chance for Nailey. Flipped back by the Melbourne player there. Gleeson's after it. He's pushed in the back. And the umpire sees it that way, and the free kick will go to the Carlton Rover. So with just 8 minutes left in the preliminary final, Melbourne looking pretty good at this stage. Gleeson's kick up towards half forward. Very difficult to mark this slippery ball. Chance for Melbourne to come clear. Back into the centre. It's punched away. A good play by Wilson, and he gets the hand pass over to Healy. Healy, short kick. Up towards half forward. Williams gathers. Back onto the right foot. He can't really do much with it. It goes back to Healy. Healy slips over. Rhys Jones. Caught with the football again. Too slow. Newport's left foot kick towards half forward. Goes to the back. Punch away by Dunlop. Attempted gather by Kennedy. He's in after it again, Mick Kennedy. And he overruns it. Now three of them fight over it. And it comes out the back. The attempted kick off the ground by Wilson. He's caught with the football. He gets the hand pass out to Stretch. Stretch up against the boundary line. His kick is great. Spalding misses the mark. Blackwell does the tackling. Kick off the ground. Chance for Carlton to come clear now through Dunlop at half back, and the Blues striving hard to stay in this match. Up towards the wing, and a great mark's been taken by Steins and made a liar of the slippery ball syndrome.
My word, wasn't that a terrific mark?
Jimmy Steins, short of right centre wing, any overhead mark today, a good one. Magnificent grab by Steins. And Dunlop is showing us how good that mark was, I guess. Flip over the back by Jackson, intercepting is Kennedy. Hugs the boundary line with the kick. Thump away by Dersma. Lovell, the chance. And he got put out of business by Fraser Murphy. And on centre wing, right on the Meyer emblem, it's going to be a bounce. Under 7 minutes remaining in the game. For the right to challenge Hawthorn in next week's grand final. Steins and Madden. Murphy got put out of business by Stretch. It's a real wet weather day now. Out to Bradley. His effectiveness after half-time hasn't been as great as before the main change. This is Meldrum. Outside 50 metres. Long kick. Silvani tried to take a screamer from the back. Hughes goes towards the boundary line with the educated fullback's kick. Millam Hanna in the road. and eventually gets beaten for it by Newport. Having trouble gathering, but not really surprising under these conditions. It's still teeming. How would you like to be on top of the light towers? How would you like to get the camera down this afternoon? Pass. Steins up. Almost takes it. And up by Rosscastle will bounce it again. So similar conditions that Carlton enjoyed or had to put up with last week against Hawthorn. And it would appear at this stage it's going to be the same result. Some long faces in the Carlton box. Melbourne striving for their first grand final since '64. Booted away by Alan Johnson. Johnson's kick up towards centre wing. And the ball like a cake of soap at the moment. It beats Dunlop over the line and also Spalding. And once again we'll see a boundary throw. 5 minutes 10 remaining in the game.
Melbourne supporters won't mind at all sitting this out in the rain. Madden tries to get the tap out the back. It's not bad. Murphy caught with a football, but he gets the hand pass away to Blackwell. Carlton players all trying to win it off their own boot with these big long thumps into the forward line. Chance now. Here's a kick off the ground by Sartori. It's a goal.
4 goals to Peter Sartori. And also 3 points, and we've mentioned those 3 points. 14-13, 27 scoring shots to 24. The forward line work of Melbourne has been very good. As we look at this behind, you'll see that Silvani goes to get it, but in fact Sartori kicks it virtually out of his hands for his 4th goal, and I suppose 17 points.
Not impossible. Not impossible.
Well, just under 5 minutes left in the game, so the centre bounce is very crucial. Madden can't get it out, Bradley can, and a quick kick up towards half forward. Silvani nearly takes the mark. He gets the hand pass off. Murphy's caught with the football. Great effort there by Stretch. The ball at half forward for Carlton, and the free kick has been picked out, and it's going to Stevens.
Wasn't that a certain chance for him?
Great tackle though, wasn't it?
Fantastic.
Stretch now to kick the ball out of trouble for Melbourne. Out towards the wing. It's a great kick by Stretch, and a great mark out there to Yeats. So Melbourne within reach of a grand final spot against Hawthorn next week. Can they hang on? The time now very close to 4 minutes left in the last quarter. Punch away by Wilson. Healy gathers. He can't break away. A struggle for possession out there on the centre wing. No one can break away with it. John Northey, he'd be using that telephone every second, I would think, in this last quarter, as the nails just get shorter and shorter in the Melbourne camp.
Outer wing, under 4 minutes remaining in the game. Carlton needs 3 goals to go into their 3rd successive grand final. Still a tall order, but of course shades of last year when Hawthorn picked them back and finally won the game on or after the bell. Madden and Steins. Assist from Spalding, won by Madden, tries to find Blackwell, only finds the boundary line. And they didn't really gain too much from that. 3.5 minutes remaining. Steins and Madden again. Steins goes down. Gleeson. Dunlop. Good tackle by Hannah. Out it comes to Yeats it is. Up the half forward. Derui got underneath an opportunity for Williams. Gathers. This could be the seamer if he kicks accurately. And he's done it. That is a goal. Yes, all clear, says the field umpire, and that's what he's going to signal. Listen to the roar. Melbourne's 19th, and they don't mind the rain and the outer.
Tremendous elation from all the Melbourne players all over the ground then. They can see that they've got a spot in the grand final against Hawthorn, something that eluded them last year. As we look at this from behind, Williams was able to get Garry under the ground. Quinter doesn't really mind.
A spectator on the ground being given chase by a policeman.
About to be shirt-fronted.
Oh, great tackle. Great tackle.
Oh.
I don't think he'll claim a 50-metre penalty. Might be a guest of Her Majesty tonight, though.
Yes, well, I suppose that's one way to get onto the preliminary final ground, isn't it?
Parachute in.
Yes, we've had everything, haven't we? Fights and shoves and what have you between the players, and now really spectators under the influence out there.
We are seeing a historical moment in 25 years of football.
We certainly are. Bouncing to the centre again. Steins really got collected for his trouble. And once again, it's going to be a bounce at midfield. 2.5 minutes remaining in the game. Melbourne, the underdogs, have almost done the impossible. Madden wins it. Down to Gleeson. Bradley off the ground. Umpire was given a free kick Melbourne's way.
Kicking in danger, I would think, against Bradley.
To be taken by Brian Wilson. The Brownlow medalist to take the kick at midfield. It's going to Dersma.
Dersma kicks it out wide. Spalding's on his own. Melbourne wasting time. They can see that they're home now. It's under 2 minutes left. Spalding stutters. Now he's called to play on. Round into the left foot. Earl Spalding kicks it towards half forward, and the mark's been taken by Aitken. No urgency there shown by Carlton. Now he kicks it quickly, but a great interception there by Spalding, and he thumps it over the line for another boundary throw-in. And the Melbourne fans, we'll put up with the rain. You send us whatever weather you like. We'll put up with it if we can watch our side play in the grand final. Steins, thump to the front. He goes after it again. Bradley's kick towards the wing. Dersma, kick off the ground. Chance for Johnson. Kick off the ground again by Bradley. White, great gather by Sean White, and he gets the hand pass out towards Flintoff. Flintoff goes to the line and will have another boundary throw in. So with just 1 minute and 4 seconds left, Melbourne within sight of the grand final spot.
First time since 1964. Madden up high, Steins, Rhys Jones. Redirects play back towards midfield, off the hands of Yeats. Fraser Murphy at the bottom. Naily. From midfield, short, off the hands of Sartori. Danny Hughes should be able to do the tidying up without too many problems if he doesn't fumble. Sartori tries to hoof it off the ground, has done so, but it's touched. So behind to Carlton, they're 14th, 98 to 120. Melbourne by 22 points. Will it be the last score of the day? Hughes to Lovett, left back pocket. Black will try to read it over the top of Steins' head. Steins read it better. Dunlop misses a chance for Wilson. Alvin, the umpire has given a free kick. Might be going to Spalding, is it? Time ticking down, just about siren time, and there it is! Melbourne's into the grand final. First time since 1964, and the scene's the exact reverse from those here 12 months to the day.
Well, they look pretty happy with themselves, and well, assuredly so too. Their performance was very, very good, particularly that third quarter when a few of the dust-ups started. They got back on the ball, Malcolm, I thought, a lot quicker than Carlton, and got that very vital lead at three-quarter time.
Yes, they did. And I suppose if we talk about luck in football, the rain did come which didn't make Carlton's job any easier, but Melbourne had the momentum after losing it midway through that second quarter, but they really did regain composure. And I think that's 5 out of the last 6 finals games they've won, and of course the other one was beaten by 2 points. So their form over the last 2 years in finals has been remarkable.
It has, hasn't it? And they've got into the grand final from 5th spot.
Yes, Peter. Interesting to note on this scoreboard that they've kicked 3 goals, 1
at both ends again.
At the end against the Breeze.
They have in both of those quarters, yeah.
And won by just a little bit less than those 6 goals.
Yes.
Well, it's a great day for Melbourne supporters into the grand final. It's not so great for Carlton. But congratulations to the Demons and to their coach John Northey into the grand final against Hawthorn next week. What a game that's going to be at VFL Park. It was 19-6, 120 Melbourne defeating Carlton 14-14, 98 in the 1988 preliminary final. ball across or
3.5 all up to talk. We'll try and get an interview as soon as possible.
Yeah.
We won't be doing individuals at this stage. So get straight into your summary.
Yeah.
And hopefully one of the boys will have an interview down there. Egan.
Well, they've got to be the first team to win it from 5th, haven't they? Got thrashed?
Yeah, got thrashed.
Who was the other one?
Nah.
Is that the only one?
I think so. I'm sure that's right.
Yes, that's right, against Hawthorn. They got thrashed. And Balmain got thrashed last week in Sydney.
Balmain?
Yeah.
That one.
Geez, he played well.
They must have laughed.
Okay, that's after I throw to the boys, is it?
And he went in there with the same opposition, Mick Kennedy. And Carlton.
It's just a play.
There was no free that we took that last goal.
Jackson.
No.
That was the one where Reece Jones was penalised, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, he's well on, mate. Stay there.
I think they've got some thinking to do, actually.
3.5 minutes all up, so we're going to get straight into a summary. If they, once we get an interview, we'll have to throw it in there pretty quickly. Here we go.
Did you think that match last Saturday took?
Yes, it was commitment. I guess you could say, Steve, they were assisted when the rain came, but the hearts of the Melbourne players, well, they were as big as elephants, and really full credit to the Demons. It was their day today, and they certainly deserved their spot against Hawthorn next week. Gentlemen, now they have to become the first team ever to win from 5th spot. Can they do it?
It's a terrific order. It's a very tall order against a classy opposition in Hawthorn. And when you look back at the sides that have done it, Essendon and Collingwood, I mean, they've always got thumped when they've got there. But they're very resilient, Melbourne. And I mentioned before, Ian, that they've won 5 of the 6 finals in the last 2 years and got beaten by a kick in the other one. So it's good form.
How far can adrenaline take them? I mean, it must be pumping enormously, mustn't it, from within?
Oh, yes, it was. Just looking at that, Ricky Jackson, 5 goals today. David Williams coming onto the ground. O'Dwyer going off in that last quarter was a terrific move in these slippery conditions. Kernahan battled manfully. It was a good battle. He kicked 4 goals. Dersmer and him. I thought it was a pretty good contest all day.
Actually, Jamie Dersmer has done a very good job in the last match of the season and also today. And it really gives a good example of what guys can do if they're prepared to just keep on having a go.
What about that controversial kick there from Jackson?
Yes,
all those Carlton players are sure to hit the post. It certainly looked like it from our view.
It'll be interesting to see if that goal umpire officiates next week, maybe. But they did struggle, Carlton. You've just noted there that they had 6 or 7 players that really did contribute very, very little. And in a tight finals match, when the pressure's right on, you need everybody giving you something. Even if you're down a little bit, you need that guy to perhaps stop his opponent from being an effective player.
Well, the VFL Park hoodoo continued, Malcolm, didn't it?
Yes, it did. They've only won 1 game out of 6 now. Well, 1 game out of 7, is it? Stats are pretty even, actually.
Yes, I don't really think we can glean much from that. Hit out 41 to 34, and well, Justin Madden obviously did well there, but John Northey wasn't too worried about that when he took O'Dwyer off in the last quarter, was he?
Well, I thought that the tandem ruckman beat the one of ruckman.
Yes, I think that Steins came on strong in the last quarter. Justin Madden got his hand to a ball, and I suppose, but you would think that the Melbourne little guys were more productive, although Nayley, I thought, was probably almost Carlton's best player, and Bradley had his moments.
Well, they kick straighter too. 19-6 is very good. I mean, it's been a dirty day all day.
Unbelievable in these conditions where there's wind like it was, and then with that rain coming, they've still managed 3 goals in that last quarter.
Would Johnson have made the difference, Malcolm, today to Carlton?
Well, I think that Johnson makes the difference in most sides. As we look at the happy faces in the Melbourne room, and it's been a long, long time for Melbourne. I don't think anyone would decry them their win today. They have worked hard for it. They had that lean patch toward the end of the season where they've lost 5 in a row, and now coming from 5th to make the grand final. What a fantastic effort.
Very important too, I thought, on the scoreboard in the second quarter and in the last quarter. Melbourne kicking into the breeze, kicked 3 goals, in each of those quarters.
3-1.
And Carlton could only kick 1 goal in the first quarter and 1 goal in the third quarter.
And when you look at the scoreboard, it's almost 4 goals difference, which was that kicked at the win
difference between the 6 and the 2 was the difference in the two teams.
All right, well, there it is. Celebratory scenes in the Melbourne dressing rooms. The Demons have won through to the grand final, their first grand final since 1964, and they will, of course, tackle Hawthorn at the Melbourne Cricket Ground next Saturday, and you'll be seeing that match live on 7. That takes us out, Steve, from still a very wet VFL Park, but we remember what happened to Balmain last week. Coming from 5th is pretty hard.
Oh yeah, the boys worked hard to get the ball down there, and I was just finishing off their good work.
At half-time, the signs didn't look good. What happened as far as the coach telling the players anything?
Oh, he just said to keep working as hard as we could. We'd done all the hard work all year, and we felt that we could run over the top of them in the second half, and we need to have a good third quarter, and we did.
You got the break, in the third quarter.